too much going on. I've taken a day here because it's election day, and we're gonna have a fun little
It's not
stream.
your election day; it's our election day.
Yeah. Well, it is. Your election day is the one that
Oh no,
matters.
your day is Felix Haas Appreciation Day. Our day.
Yes.
Right,
Please appreciate
holiday.
Felix. People, give him some appreciation and shed.
Or get their DTFO.
Yes.
Liam, I gotta get the heck out of here because I gotta go.
You do.
Listen.
See you later. If this is true, bring me Ethan Van Sciver. If this is what he said and it was not a joke, bring him to me.
What are you talking about?
Now.
Who?
EBS and Malin streamed with him for hours. It's clear to me that Nasser will return with open arms.
Oh, you want to get Nasser in here or EVS?
No, Ethan. Bring me Ethan and John. Bring them to me now. I'll be live all day.
What are you talking about? Who are you? Orange Emperor?
That's right. I'm the Orange Tyrant. Bring them to me. I'm online. I'll be online all day. They can tell it to my face. They can say it to my face. They can tell me I'm wrong to my face.
Well,
If this is what's going on. If this is what's going on, share the stream out. I'm waiting. I'll wait because I will not abide this.
Oh boy, I thought we would start with that. Let me stop screen sharing. Oh boy, let's see. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Of course, we started the stream with the bring Ethan to me, bring Malin to me, whatever, from Liam Gray, the deranged dude. We've actually got a few people in here. I'm actually surprised people are showing up only because Mike's live right now and he's got like 60 people over there and Ethan's in this chat. Ethan has the link. Maybe he'll come by. I don't know. I invited him. I did have a few things lined up for this stream. We might end up just stream sniping Mike. I've never really stream sniped anybody, but guys, I must mention the Eternity Trilogy here in the chat, and it's nice. We got Tom in the chat. Nice to see you here, Tom. Nice to see you here. We've got like 6 people in here, guys. Hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, whichever one you prefer, and share out the link. And we are going to begin stream sniping Mike. I like Mike, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't have any problems with him, but I think this is going to be gold. Let's see. Let's unmute it.
Wrote
here.
it to the natural consequences. It's just so hilarious.
Well, as Mr. Dongs always points out, Liam Gray, myself, we're the one to institute Comicsgate Year Zero.
Mm.
They'll all be rounded up, purged.
The purge.
Comicsgate purge.
Oh boy.
So, yeah. Never mind.
I kind of like this new version of Nasser because you know it's going to be nothing but hilarity. You can kind of push him on it.
Who is this dude?
I know. It's I'm having no end of fun with it.
Let's mod Mike's chat while we're doing this.
No, yeah, I mean, from the meta perspective, and I'm not going to dwell on it. Yeah, no, I get it completely, and
I don't know who this is.
It's these are the times we're in.
Ethan has the link. I hope he comes on here to snipe with me.
I believe these are the worst of times.
Nasser's
stream.
You know, it would have been easier just to come on here, Nasser.
I don't have the link.
Yeah. Wow, is this not coming up for? Oh yeah, it's
dual wield stream.
I guess the pencils are hard as heck to read on the stream, huh?
They look pretty good from here. I mean, down at the micro detail. Oh, of course not. But I mean,
I don't have the link. Earlier, Mike said, let me mute this. Earlier, Mike said, like, you're in the green room. I'm not in any green room. I'm not in any green room.
Oh, damn it. No.
Now, time to look for moles on his arms.
Where'd all Nasser's messages go? Did Liam ban him?
That one's pretty big.
Well, I'm not banned.
Moles.
There's one mole in chat already.
My wrench taken away?
Nasser. Burrowing his way back into Ethan's good graces.
Yeah, but you know, he's such a big mole. You can see his fedora from orbit, so you know.
You cannot moderate this user. Did it get taken away?
You can see his caterpillar brows.
So what are you drawing here, Mike? Is this the Svarog's
wrench,
backstory?
Let's see. Let's refresh it. Did he take away my wrench? Let's refresh and see.
Nice.
Lots of Mongols
rip
fighting
my wrench.
vampires and
My-
stuff like that. So
Are you ever going to do a spin-off, like with Lone Star's backstory and his fight in World War II against the Iron Cross?
I very well probably will.
Everybody that's
Actually, it's not a
watching,
bad idea.
everybody that's watching, let me know if you could see me say "rip my wrench" right there.
Does it keep moving the story forward, or
Did I get hidden on
I
Mike's
did
channel?
sort of a version of it in issue 2, but it wasn't, it wasn't very complete.
I think you drop it when people want it the most. The question is, when would that be?
All right.
I'd wait until maybe after the 4th one.
Let's see what people are saying. Let me stop sharing real quick. Let's see what you guys are saying. We'll go back to sniping Mike in just a minute here. But just saying says, I just came in and wondering what in the hell was that. I don't really know. Let's see. Nasser going live. I have to be invited to Mike's show. I was not invited. I did not have a link. I don't know what he was talking about. He's like, you're in the green room. I can show you guys my messages right now. I'm not in any green room. Here, there's nothing about any green room. Me sending the link, and that's pretty much it. Let's see. Hey, Nasser, watch Doctor Sleep director's cut, and it was even better the second time. Watch it. Sure, although I've got a few other movies I want to watch first. Nasser is hidden. I'm hidden. Liam is there. Well, I don't really know. Nasser took Liam's place in CG. Liam took Nasser's wrench. Mike really hates EVS. I like both of them. I don't know what that has to do with me. I was just joshing in the chat. Just showed up to be annoying to Mike. Yeah, I can't see nothing. Oh boy, I got hidden in the chat. I'm out of Mike's channel, Nasser. You are hidden. Oh boy, I'm not sure that Fat Edwin is cutting it as co-host. Let's see. I have been surprised if your wrench was spared. I didn't say anything bad against Mike. I didn't say anything bad against him at all. We could go we could go back to stream sniping him, but I did have other stuff lined up though. Like I had some campaigns I want to look at. We'll take a look at them later. And somebody pointed this towards me, which I've never watched it, but somebody recapped this on Kiwi Farms like months ago and told me what all was in here. I thought maybe we'd go through this and look at some cringe because Liam talks about me in it, but maybe another time. I don't know. Maybe stream sniping. Might be the same. Let's see.
A little bit of chicken fried.
Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Chicken, yeah.
I just read a good comment.
That's the
here it
low
is.
Southern accent and not the high and elegant.
Cameron Scott's asking the real questions. Why is Nasser
hidden? Did somebody
here we
hide
go.
Nasser?
Yeah, somebody deleted them. It says deleted message or message.
Oh
deleted.
no, I deleted that one message because he's trying to draw people out.
Oh, nah.
Well, somebody. No, I didn't hide Nasser completely. Come on.
But I am hidden. Let me know if you guys see this. When I say
Well, if
I
you
am
wanted
hidden,
to draw NASA onto the stream,
make sure you go to live chat.
you could bring EVS on. So I know NASA was trying to get him on his stream.
I would need the link
wait a
though.
minute.
Well,
Mike never sent me the link. I'm not in his green room. I just showed you guys my messages.
I am hidden, says Nasser. He's been unreached. Nasser is being repressed. Why are you leaving Nasser as a mod, Mike? Why not?
But I'm not a mod.
do you have to demod him in order to delete the message?
No. I can do whatever I want.
Okay, you just demodded them anyways. All right.
Wait, you guys, oh my gosh, this is this weird tribalism. Like, you want me to freaking,
I didn't tell you to do anything about NASA.
There is no
It's not
tribalism.
but why would I, just because he went crawling back to, give me back my, who the hell unlocked? Someone is controlling my stream. Who else has my login?
You didn't give it over to Mecca, did you?
Right here, Justice for Nasser. I love this. Jonah
I think
Von
you should
Doom.
kick NASA. on.
Whoever's messing with my login, don't take Nasser's, don't block Nasser,
We'll give Mike
don't
a
ban
heart.
Nasser, and don't take away his freaking wrench, please. Thank you.
Guys, I'll read some more of your chats in a couple minutes here. Oh, sweet. I got my wrench back.
I don't know. I would change my passwords, but But that might end
The
the
wrench
stream,
is
so let's not
back.
scream it yet. The stream is more important than your life, son.
I'm gonna refresh this real quick so it shows up back down here because now it's bugging me that it's not there.
Well, my phone is.
There we go. Now it's
Gosh,
back.
that would
Heck
blame it
yeah.
on one of my family members.
Let's change
Never
this
mind.
back
I'm
to
just not
live
going to
chat.
delve into this.
Let's vote on it with mail-in ballots.
I think it's only fair since Nasser took my place in Comicsgate that you give me his wrench.
Oh,
Like-
P Money, chill. I'm not gonna come on
is
if he
that
gives me the
right?
link. I'm stream sniping right now. Which, by the way, you guys
Well,
got
he
to
did,
buy the
actually,
Eternity
take place in
trilogy.
Comicsgate,
If you guys
I have no control
enjoyed
over
the
that,
stream
so
snipe,
I have no way of recompensing you.
Well, see, there was always
You
a
guys
spot
enjoyed
for
the
Nasser.
snipe.
There was never a spot for Liam.
Buy my
That's-
books.
That's the real issue. Liam made his own spot.
That's true. That's true.
I
Nasser
completely
will
missed what
come
they were
on
saying.
if you put in the link. Nasser is in the group
I'm not in
on
any
Twitter
group.
where the link is available already.
I'm not in any group chat.
He
Mike.
doesn't know how to figure that out.
I don't know what he's
then,
talking about, guys. I showed you
I
guys
don't
my
know what to tell you.
messages. I'm not in any group chat.
Need my reference.
Nasser is the leader of Comicsgate. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Oh, we got Jim O'Reilly. in
Love
the
thy
chat.
family, says James Hayes. Oops. He's not in the group. Not that group. Wait a
Yeah,
second.
I
Let me
assume you have some sort of private link dropping group, right?
Let me double check.
Yeah, I'm not in any
Wait,
link
what
dropping group.
Why aren't I invited? What's all this back channelery going on?
Yeah, sorry. Too much back channelry for you.
Does Mecca have control of your Indiegogo account too,
Is he
Mike?
not in here?
Nasser is John Malin's coffee boy. Heck yeah. I'll be John Malin's coffee boy any day. Malin Militia.
Oh, I guess you're not in there. That's weird.
That's what I tried to. How's that weird,
All
Mike?
right, my bad. Here, I'll send you a link.
Somebody messing with your accounts? It's not under the same. It's not under this. It's this. Is this separate from your YouTube login?
This is something different.
All right. That's
Yeah, I agree with this. Give me a
Let's
wrench,
get
Mike.
Nasser.
Give Jim O'Reilly a wrench.
Peist.
I think Mike might be
All
dropping
right,
me a link
Nasser,
right now.
you
Yeah,
get the link.
yeah, he just sent me a link. But I'm already
John
stream
Malin's coffee
sniping.
boy.
Oh, we got Ethan here. Hey, Ethan, how's it
Yep,
going?
and
Let me
Ethan
mute
Moving
Mike
Boy,
real quick.
so.
Oh boy. Hi. Yeah. I just left Mike's stream.
Yeah, he just sent me a link. I don't think he liked being sniped.
Why wouldn't he like being sniped? Everybody snipes everybody.
I don't know.
You
It was so weird. Like I was like, "Hey, I'm sniping," and then he took away my wrench, and then everybody was like, "Give him back a wrench." And Mike pretended he didn't know what was going on. He's like, "Oh, I didn't take it away. Someone else has control of my account." I was like, "Yeah, right,
Wow.
Mike." But he gave it back, surprisingly.
Yeah, I guess it didn't look so good for
So-
him. So
So you gave him 3 chances. I saw in the chat, and I just couldn't believe it. I don't know how many chances somebody has to throw away.
3. I mean, he denied me thrice. Now, Mike's biggest problem is that I compare myself to Jesus sometimes. But how can I not compare myself to Jesus when, look, I'm hated in my time, and yet I offer him salvation, and he denies me 3 times. When
come
I
on.
offer it to
John Lennon said the same thing, that they were bigger than Jesus, and Mike's still a Beatles fan, so I don't see the difference here.
I really don't either. I don't see the difference between me and John Lennon or me and Jesus either. I mean, I don't know why Mike does, and I don't know why he insists on drawing a distinction.
Right, and like I don't even see a difference between me and Ringo. We both have weird noses.
Well, that's me too. So
Oh boy, should we keep sniping Mike?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm worried about Mike. Mike is launching 1 million books right now. He's got a ton of books. He launched Magnificent Seven on the presumption that Trump was going to landslide the election and the Democrats were going to have a meltdown. But the opposite happened, and now it's kind of embarrassing. I recommended to him that he go ahead and launch Lone Star 3, because at least he's got a franchise there. People have bought Lone Star like in the hundreds of thousands. Well, I mean, that's how much money he made. He made like 100,000 or so. So I said, do that again. Why are you trying other things when you have what seems to be a successful property?
Right. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Of course. So, now I think he listened to me. I said, and not only that, I said, you launch Lone Star 3, you make $100,000, you know, and then you put together the complete Lone Stars 1 through 3 trade paperback, another $100,000. It's a proven formula.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah,
I forgot
agree with
is that Mike can't sell anything. Like Mike, this is the thing. I'm like, oh, he launched Lone Star 3, and I got really excited. And as you know, when you launch a campaign, like the first few minutes, at least the first hour, is when you're going to see your initial burst of energy, of backing, people excited, your fans, like their pent up energy, they're excited to back your campaign. And
right. That's how you could measure it. Like in my case, I had like 12 people.
Yeah,
people are really angry at that comment, by the way, Ethan. When I was roasting that Midnight Cherry comment, and I was like, what was I going to get from you 12, from your people, 12 retweets? Everybody's like demanding from me on Twitter, like, who are you talking about?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So, but it is true. Look, everybody works better together. Now, Mike, Mike obviously is failing without me. Without me, Mike can't do anything. And I guess I understand. I guess I understand the resentment. But you see, the thing is, Mike knows that without Jesus, he can't do anything either. And he's cool with that. So why is it that he is so upset that he can't do anything without me?
I don't know. It's really irritating because I want to see Mike do well. He's a good artist. And
well,
I mean, all it takes is just apologizing. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say all it takes.
No, all he needs to do is accept my forgiveness. I don't even need. I mean, that's what I told him. I said, "Look, I've forgiven you. Just accept my forgiveness like a man." And he won't do that, and it's extremely frustrating. He won't accept my grace. So
he's throwing away so much help.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. It's bad news, but maybe maybe this time it'll work. Maybe this time he'll do well. It just doesn't look like it's not happening yet. So far, it doesn't look good. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I would really love to see him back. Was there ever a time in CG where there was better chemistry on stream than like me, you, Mike, and a couple others like RT Bear and some of the other OGs from back then, from like 2018? All of us on stream together. There was never anything funner than that. And now Mike's refusing to come back. Everyone would love to see him back.
Yeah, they would. They would like to see him back because, John Malin said this, and John Malin's right. Mike is supremely unlikable by himself and boring. But I make Mike likable. This is the magic of what I do. I've made Mike into a character that people like, or at least are amused by.
You will make anybody interesting. I've never seen anybody be awful when they're bouncing off you. If they're by themselves, like somebody like me, like I'm just here like, yeah, guys. And then, when I get you on the stream, it's like we got a really good conversation going. You really have that effect on people, Ethan.
Well, I'm a Sunbeam. I'm a human Sunbeam.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I feel warmed right now by your rays.
Well, don't get all warmed up, Nasser. But look, here's the thing. Mike has also said, he's like, Comicsgate is one of two things. It's either a consumer movement. And first of all, Mike knows this isn't true. Comicsgate is not just a consumer movement, because if Comicsgate were were only a consumer movement and didn't involve creators like him and myself, he'd be able to get work right now with the mainstream. And I brought that up to him, and he said, well, this YouTuber hired me to do it. Well, fuck that. Look, yeah, we get hired by other YouTubers, I guess. I guess if I put myself out there. But will Marvel and DC, the two big companies that are gatekept by SJWs, will they hire us? No, they will not.
Because why does he want to be hired from by somebody instead of making his own thing?
I don't know, but and by the way, it's not the greatest idea to want to be hired by somebody at this point. Not when you have me to help you. But I'm just saying, if I wanted to go back to DC Comics, I could not. DC Comics would be harassed by social justice warriors the minute I showed my face on any title. They would be harassed and be like, you're hiring white supremacists. Now, the same thing's going to happen to Mike. So
right, even though those were the best titles that they've ever seen in the history of their publishing.
Oh, that's true. So of course. But here's the thing: like Mike refuses to accept that. Mike is doing this completely out of spite. Mike's whole thing is it's either a consumer movement, which it isn't. It's a combination of a consumer movement and a creator movement. It's just SJWs ruin things for everybody, not just customers. Or Mike says it's just Ethan's fan club. And it's not my fault that I'm so popular.
Right. But so what if it was? Like, does it really matter if it's your fan club, if it's doing everybody good? Like, I don't see what like this is something I fell for too, is everyone's like, no, we gotta really define what it is. Well, that's so lame. Like, what Mike needs to let's all just grab an oar.
Yeah, Captain Hill says you're truly obsessed with Mike Miller, Ethan. Yeah, right now I am. All right, because he just launched a campaign. It's fun. All right, listen. Here's the thing. Just because Elvis was the most popular person in rock and roll in 1957 doesn't mean that rock and roll was the Elvis Presley fan club.
Right.
You could still get out there. You could still do a little bebop-a-lula. You could be a one-hit wonder maybe. Maybe you could have a string of hits. Of course, you're going to be overshadowed by Elvis. You might be overshadowed by me. But then again, Elvis was involved in something called the $1 Million Quartet, where he took other people in, like John Mayall, Johnny Cash.
Right. Even Buddy Holly opened for him.
That's right. Now other people working together, everyone benefits. Or you can go, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not in rock and roll because it's just Elvis's fan club. That's a loser mentality. And we'll see where it gets you. It's going to get you nowhere.
It is a loser mentality, and I'm tired of it, and I was so tired of having it, and I'm just really excited to be back, man. Like, I'm really excited. Like, and this is a comment like I got from Matt C and a few other people. They're like, man, you seem like really happy on all the Afterlife with Nasser streams, ironically, because it's called Afterlife. You know, it's so cheerful. But it really is such a great place to be. And like, I just don't understand how he just refuses every single time. Like, you're like, come on, Mike, let's put these things in the past. Come on, let's just be cool. And
I've forgiven him so many times. And he's like, War Campaign apologized to me, but Ethan or none of Ethan's people did.
Who cares?
I don't owe you an apology, you buffoon. Not at all. What do I owe you an apology for? Helping you make $350,000? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me
How long is he going to be mad at such petty things?
I don't know. Forever, I guess.
We
could just move on together, you know.
Yes.
And Mike can come on my show, and I can make fun of how short he is. I can say, "Oh, look, your wife is going dancing with other men." I could say, "Hey, Mike, look at this," and it's a picture of a cloud that looks like a penis. And we could do all the things that we used to do, and he could just rake in cash if only he would humble himself.
Right. We all need to be a little more humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those memes were all gold. The hey, Mike, look at this. What does this look like?
And by the way, it wasn't a penis. I didn't show him penises. I just showed him things that were kind of sort of shaped the same way. And that was too much. It's a cactus, Mike. Sometimes a cactus is just a cactus.
Oh boy, Mr. Dongs is talking about 77 backers. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's poor Mike. He's gonna fucking die. Mike, please.
Mike, I like Mike. I really want him to succeed. Mike, I want you to make, if you're listening, I want you to make like $500,000 on this, Mike. Come back. I'm not guaranteeing you anything, but I think he'll make at least 150 if he came back.
I just want Mike to help me help him. That's all.
Jim O'Reilly says Ethan is the light that grows the kumquats.
I do, and my kumquats are free for everyone. Come fondle my kumquats. You know,
I will always fondle them, and I will kiss them just like the Ring. Did you see Comic Book Hut's new video where he's like he found on Kiwi Farms where I said something like Ethan is merciful, and he's just reading it like, Ethan's merciful, this guy says. I was always right about him.
Well,
was he agreeing with me? Is he agreeing with me? Like, yeah, I was right about, like, I don't understand.
I haven't watched the Comic Book Hut video. I watched a couple of them last week, but I have not watched any new ones. Is he still talking about you?
Stunned. He's nothing left to say. He's like, he said Ethan's merciful. Like that was the whole thing, like 12 minutes of it. And it's really funny because he hid my main account on his channel. So this morning I commented Hail Caesar from my backup channel, which I have nothing on it. It's just an account I had before I started this one. And I commented on it from that other account, Hail Caesar, so he would see it. And he's like, that's not going to fly here anymore. And then he blocked that account too from his channel.
He blocked me entirely. And I don't understand. Like, here, the other thing, like every now and then he'll start a live stream about Comicsgate, and we'll go and we'll stream snipe it. And his big move is to just stop talking. He'll sit there and go, well, you know what? Two can play this game. I'm just going to stop talking. And like his fans just keep going, hey.
Isn't that the time to talk more about it? Because now he finally has people watching him.
You've got a big audience. Now you're broadcasting to my audience of 1,500 people. Now would be a good time to say shit, you know, make fun of me and dunk on me. But instead he goes quiet. And I don't know. It's very strange. He's blocked me. So that I can't respond to him. He's blocked me on Twitter. He's blocked me everywhere. And yet, I'm the subject of most of his videos. I don't understand.
He probably shuts up because he realizes normal people are just going to, you know, find him crazy. But it is so funny. Like I pointed out in like the response video I did to him where I said that his whole channel is just, oh my goodness, I can't believe Ethan had bologna on his sandwich today. Like he's just waiting to see like what you have on your sandwich that day or something. Like it's really creepy. Also, let me read this here. Dillard draws for $5 is go back the buckler on Indiegogo right now, unless you're lame. And if you are backer anyways, lame people need dope books too. Yeah, I posted the link right here for the buckler. Everybody go support John Dillard. It's a really fantastic looking book.
I agree. It looks good, man.
Yeah, it looks.
Cheers, pal.
Yeah, it looks really awesome. I had Dillard on here for I don't know an hour or two, and we were talking about his book. He's a great guest to have on.
Is he? Why?
Because he's just so like talkative, and he always has a great response. Like, and he really makes me laugh. Like sometimes the things he says like really like catch me off guard. Like. This is gonna sound really bad, but when I was asking him, you know, like what motivated him to be such a good artist, like he started off with, well, my dad, when he came home from jail, brought a friend with him to live in our garage, and I was holding back a laugh because it sounded so like stereotypical. I'm sorry to say that, but then he went on about like how good that dude was of an artist, and how like he told Dillard though, like, oh, you're not left-handed, so you can't be a good artist. I don't understand what that means. But then Dillard's like, oh, so that really motivated me. And you know, he I don't know, he just has a lot of good responses to things and a lot of good stories, and he's a great artist. He's really a great person to have on these streams.
He sounds very interesting. He sounds like somebody I would like to talk to. And maybe I'll put him on the show at some point. I don't know. I got the guys from Mad Magazine. You ever buy a Mad Magazine, Nasser?
Yeah, I bought one like 5 years ago.
Okay. I mean, you know, if you buy any, I don't know if they had these 5 years ago. I guess they did. But they always had these movie parodies with these really well done caricatures. And they would do a movie parody every single issue. Well, you know, those guys, the writers and the writer and the artist of those movie parodies, they have a book on Indiegogo. I'm going to bring them on. They want to come on my show.
Oh yeah, some people actually pointed that out to me. I think last month sometime. Somebody sent me that Indiegogo, and now the name of it is slipping me, but I would like to take a look at it. If you remember, or if anybody watching remembers, maybe one of our wrenches could post a link so I could find it.
Yeah, let's see. The book is called Claptrap. Claptrap.
Oh, that's right. Let me go to Indiegogo. We'll find Claptrap here. Let me search here. Let's see.
Tom Richmond is the artist, and you know, Desmond Devlin, the writer. These guys are just a parody team, like you wouldn't believe. They do nothing but like movie satire, and I think they're Comicsgate, which is pretty cool because that means that people can probably pay, since Mad Magazine doesn't really exist anymore. These guys are working. They're working artists. because we can pay the guy who does the movie parody art to work for us. That's pretty exciting.
Oh, and they're doing so well too. $57,716, 444 backers. These guys got 8 days left.
Hell yeah, and
really good.
See, the thing is, like, Mad Magazine closed before they could publish the parody for Star Wars Episode 9. So they're publishing it in here. There it is.
Star Wars. Star Wars. That is gold. That is like the best joke I've ever seen about the sequel trilogy or whatever you want to call it.
You got Finn and Poe in a gay bathhouse together there. You can see that. Like, it looks accurate. Like it looks like it's going to be fun. So, this is the thing. They're posting all of these, or they're publishing all these movie parodies that were never published, or that they never got around to. Like, I guess they never did the Shawshank Redemption, but they're doing it for this book, Psycho. They're doing Psycho. I'm gonna buy it just for Psycho.
Oh boy, that looks really good.
These guys are legit. They're the real deal, and anyone who grew up with Mad Magazine knows this art style. They know these guys. They know their work. So I think they're Comicsgate because they reached out to me. I'm going to talk to them and find out how they feel about things, but I think they are. And we should kind of get behind this book, even though it's doing really, really well already. This is like a legit comic book.
Heck yeah, this deserves like 10 times what it's at now. I love this. I'm definitely going to back this if I can. I have like Dillard's book I need to back, and I need to back Charlie's London's another one I want to back. There's a lot of good campaigns. I'm like, you guys are killing me because they're like so close to each other. But 8 days left on this. You guys should all back this. I'm going to post the link here in just a minute. But yeah, I'm really digging this. I can't wait to read the Star Wars.
Yeah,
I'm calling it Type O.
And look at this. Like, they'll draw you in. I guess they sold out of that.
They sold out of that.
You can get a sketch of in the book and all that stuff. These guys are great. So wow, you picked the movie. Scroll all the way down. That is the greatest perk ever. For $6,000, they'll parody a movie of your choice. So it looks like 2 people claim that.
Oh, okay.
That's legit. I would have them. What movie would I have them do? I think I would have them do Human Centipede.
Oh man, I haven't seen Human Centipede, although I hear it's good. Let's see. If I had to pick a movie for them to parody, what would I pick? Let me see. Let me take a quick glance at my bookshelf.
It'd have to be something that would never get to be in my magazine,
I don't know. That's difficult. I'm actually not sure which one I'd pick. I'm really not sure. But I'm really looking forward to this. I love Psycho, and I saw in one of your streams that you picked up the new Blu-ray that came out where it has the uncut version, which I have it. I still need to watch it, but
it's just 18 more seconds. It's not even like an uncut version. Evidently, Alfred Hitchcock, he was fully aware that the censors were dickheads. So he would send a cut of the film to them with stuff in it that he knew wasn't going to make it. And he just put it in there just so they would say, yeah, that's got to go. And then he'd be able to get away with other stuff. So, there's a scene where, Janet Leigh is getting undressed for the shower, and you see her unsnap her bra, and you see her take her bra off past her shoulders. And that's in 1960. No fucking way. That's right. one of the clips that is in there. It's only 2 seconds long. But it's still pretty neat to watch the extended version of Psycho.
Right. Like when I was telling my brother about it, because we already have 4 other copies of Psycho. I think this is our 5th copy. And I told my brother when I got it from Amazon, I opened up the packages like, hey, look what we got, and it's uncut, and there's a few seconds missing that they added back in. And he's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what? He's like, you really bought that just to see 2 more seconds of Norman Bates wiping down a little blood? I was like,
yeah,
yes. Like,
yeah.
Like I live for this movie. Like I love it so much. It is so much better than the book. Like I read the book. It was a quick read, and it's like none of the dialogue from the movie is even in the book. Like, so that just made it just boring. Like it's the exact same story, but if all the characters were boring and just uncompelling. like Norman in it, he's not like young or charming at all. He's like in his 40s and he's balding.
Yeah, the original. I mean, he's based on Ed Gein, right? I mean, the original Norman Bates, who was that guy. So I love Psycho's my favorite movie of all time. I buy every single edition that comes out. I collect that movie, but and I have from the Bates Motel TV show. I bought Cabin 13's room key. Like I bought some of the props. I bought Norman Bates's eulogy on handwritten eulogy for his mother.
Have you seen the sequels?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, many times.
I really love the second one. The second one is so good.
Second one is great. It's got Vera Miles in it, from the first movie.
Yeah, I loved seeing her return.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really awesome how Anthony Perkins he just runs with it. Like he just gets right back into the role, and he's just like cutlery. Like I don't know. It's just a genius sequel. Like when you hear there's a Hitchcock sequel or there's a sequel to a Hitchcock movie rather, and it's 20 something years later, and it's like at first you're kind of put off from that. That's why I didn't watch it at first. But then when I finally watched it earlier this year, I was like, I was missing out on this for so long because I just never thought the sequels would be good. But I really liked them.
Yeah, it's a smart little slasher film. It's not obviously it's not in Hitchcock's league, but it's still pretty respectable. And 3 is too. 4 is a little bit creepy because
4 is super creepy.
Yeah, it's got Elliot from E.T. who's playing young Norman Bates, and he fucks his own mom. And I mean, that's we kind of that's implied that maybe that happened,
but it's like I just didn't want to see that like happen on screen.
Yeah, it's explicitly spelled out in Psycho 4. So, but the Bates Motel TV show is great.
Really I really like that show. I really like the show. I think my ranking of everything overall would probably be the original, then 2, then 3, then probably the show, and then 4. I think is how I rank them personally.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Yeah.
There's also that I think there was like a pilot Bates Motel show episode from the 80s, I think, where they did like one episode and that was it. But I've never seen that.
Yeah, I have it. It's called Bates Motel, and it makes no fucking sense at all. It's just not even. Yeah, it's not worth. Lori Petty's in it. It's not worth the. I mean, it's awful. It's the only bad Norman Bates thing.
Yeah, I also read the second book. There's 3 books. I read the first 2 of them. The second one's pretty good, but it's nothing like the movie, and it's basically just Robert Bloch, the author, just making fun of Hollywood, making fun of slasher movies. Where basically what happens is Norman escapes from the asylum, and then he there's a Hollywood production going on about the movie, and everyone starts to mysteriously die, and weird things are going on, and it's a good book, but I like the movie more than it. They just chucked the whole thing out. They had Tom Holland just write a completely new script because they're like, this is just making fun of Hollywood. Let's do something else.
I never read it. I'm going to look into that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the second book is actually better than the first book, just because when you watch Psycho and then you read the book, if you have it's just such a letdown. So. Yeah. Yes, I don't really recommend the first book, but I do recommend the second one. As far as the third one, it's called Psycho House. I don't know. I have it, but I haven't read it yet.
I love that you're reading. I have no time to read anything. I have to do audiobooks. Because, I can listen to books while I draw, but just laying down on my back and reading a book, I can't. It's no time in the day. Paulus Arts in the chat, by the way, says Bates Motel was good for the first few episodes, but then got boring and dumb. Paulus, I gotta recommend. First of all, I gotta recommend that you stay with it because the first few episodes, Norman is a normal kid. Over time, by the 3rd season, he's completely mentally ill, and it's great.
It is awesome. Everything just gets more and more wild, not just with him, but with all the supporting cast, all their subplots. Everything's just more and more wild. And you're like, kid, this cannot get any crazier, and then it gets crazier.
You're just waiting for Mother to die, essentially, and Mother dies in season 4. And by the way, Psycho, the events of Psycho happen in season 4 too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
Even though they spun it around a little bit, they put a twist on it. But yeah, and then season 5 is just off the wall. It is craziness. So yeah, I recommend it. But the sequels couldn't happen. according to Bates Motel, which is too bad.
Yeah. Superfly Ghost says, "Hey Nasser, hello Ethan. Have you seen this dude's art, Ethan?"
No, am I looking at it now?
I'm
Avatar?
actually not quite sure if he did that one, but he did a really cool fan art piece for Trent Kanuga, and he sent me some of his art. Superfly Ghost did, and he's really good. Let's see. Let me see what else is going on in the chat. Remember when John Malin made Nasser cry? God coaches a riot. I don't think he made me cry, but I mean it was really intense.
I've seen John Malin freak out twice, I think, and one of them was at you,
and the other one was I think Anglantine and Unranked Chevron was the other dude.
Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of maybe that's 3 times then. I'm thinking of Rob Casey, where he's just like fuck you, like and just shaking his hand like everyone, Ro Kabir came in, sketch therapy, and he's just telling them all to go fuck themselves. That was something else, but yeah, when he started cursing at you, I knew something was wrong. Hi, babe. What's up?
Yeah. I don't know what the Rob Casey one is because now that I'm back, it's like I have to make up for everything I missed. Like everybody's like, "What did you think of this thing that happened?" I'm like, "Who are these people?" Like I just missed so much. It's been over a year. It feels really weird. Like that I'm just so out of the loop.
Yeah, Rob Casey just kind of showed up, and I looked at his book, and I do this. Like, I'll look at books, and I just kind of go, eh. You know what's confusing is Kane and White will do a cover for a lot of these books, and I'm like, whoa, that looks like the shit. And then I'll see that it was just a Kane and White cover, and the book itself isn't so good.
That makes me so angry. Like when I see like a piece of art, I'm like, oh my goodness, this book is going to be incredible. And then I see the interiors. Like I don't want to name what book this is, but there's an artist I really like that I follow, and he follows me. And I saw this cover, and he's like, oh, back this campaign. And I'm like, oh, he launched something. So I click on it. I'm scrolling through expecting to see all his art. He only did the cover, and the interior artist is just so hideous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. When I see that happen, I just kind of, I don't say anything. I don't say anything. I just kind of try to ignore it. Let other people, because other people will pick it up in Comicsgate. When Mike says the Comicsgate is just my fan club, he's just so fucking wrong. Like, you've got John Malin, you've got like Mandy, you've got all these people out there working really hard to promote Comicsgate books to each other. And just because they don't all make 6 figures doesn't mean that it's not a working network. It is working. It's like if you get on my show, I guess you're gonna have the best luck because I have the biggest live stream audiences so far. Even still, so I ignored that. I didn't even know about it. I just figured, good luck to you. And it turned out he was cursing out John Malin, which is just not a good idea. Don't do that.
It's not a good idea.
He's very popular around here. You don't want to curse out John Malin.
Superfly Ghost says, yes, this avatar is mine. I am Billy. I hope I said this right. Is it Basco in real life? And I follow and study under Trent Kanuga.
Oh, how about that? Yeah, that's great. Trent's a good teacher. He's a good teacher. Good guy.
Yeah, Trent is great. He's a great artist.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait till he launches something. At least I don't think he has yet. I think he was planning to. I think I remember you mentioning it on a stream recently.
Yeah, he's going to be putting out a Creed collection, like a cleaned up reprint book collection, which should be good. Wow, we have 7 thumbs down and 12 thumbs up. Who are the 7 people who are really up? Oh, probably because you were stream sniping Mike.
That maybe, or it could be Bean from PA. Like she put out this tweet when she's tagging me, like making a big deal out of it instead of messaging me. She's got to tag me, and she's like, at Nasser Rabadi 13. Who are these like 12 people that you're talking about? Because I used to support you until you unfollowed me a year ago, and now I don't buy your books, but it makes me really angry you're denouncing me. I'm like, so you're saying you don't buy my books anymore, but then you're wondering who I'm denouncing. And then she like quote tweets herself, and she's like, someone's got to show him this so he could talk about it on his drama show. So it's probably her and the couple others that are mad because I said whatever. I was like, this comment from Midnight Cherry's dumb, and he acts like I'd get more support from his group or whatever. Which, what else is funny? Ethan? You would always say something about like, oh, the Cherries are such bad people, and then they'd be like, the cherries don't exist. But when I say, oh, I denounced the cherries, they're like, oh, so you're talking about us. Well, I thought you guys were in a group.
That's interesting. Yeah, Bean from Pa is a weird chick because I honestly don't know what happened with her, and she, like, what I did to rub her the wrong way. I think it was an entirely war campaign kind of thing, right? Here's what I remember. What I remember was, early days of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. Being from Pa was in the chat all the time. And she was cool. She even contributed a little video to the, I'm the leader of Comicsgate.
I remember that.
It wasn't a big deal. And then one day I got a message from her that was just, it just kind of subtly cursed me out and demanded a refund. And I in the private room, I said, does anybody know what happened to Bean from Pa? Like, why is she asking me for a refund? What's going on? And that thing, just going to the and by the way, I'm talking to like other comic skaters, and I can't remember. Antonio said he got a refund, but I guess it wasn't from Bean from Pa. We were all new to the idea of getting refunds. It was a shocking thing that, like, we're selling comics and then somebody's going, I don't like this or I don't like that, so please refund me. It was weird. It was just fucking weird. So I said that, and I guess somebody who was in the stream or in this private room took that back to her and made it sound like I was doxing her private information or something like that.
All these people talk about like, oh, I was doxed, and I never see it. Like, people are like, oh no, they doxed this chick, they doxed this customer. I'm like, well, I don't see their information anywhere. Like, I'm not, maybe some people have been doxed before. I don't know, so I don't want to say everybody's a liar, but it just seems to me when she's like, well, I was doxed. I used to follow her and I never saw her dox anywhere. I never saw anybody, post it anywhere. So I have no clue what she's talking about. But this Paulus Arts in the chat says war campaign brought out the worst in everybody. I think so too. Which a lot of the lies they spread about me are why I think a lot of people dislike me, and they're really what started a lot of the rift, because they were saying on one of their streams. And I tried to show this to people back then, and everyone just sort of ignored me. But I was showing people this stream of theirs. I think it was stream number 97, I think. And it's privated now. But they were saying like, oh, Nasser and Doug share backer information. And I'm like, well, no, we don't. Where's the evidence of this? But if we did, how would you guys know? Like, is that just something me and Doug go around like bragging about? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And that's why I decided to go ahead and block those guys. And the very next day, they cried to Donald, and then Donald was like, you have to unblock them all, or you're going to have to ghostwrite our book and not be associated with it. Like, what did they say to him that just made him just like snap at me like that? I don't really understand, but they did bring out the worst in everybody.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I always thought they were funny, but I was not following everything that they were doing. I wasn't in their Discord. I don't know what they were up to all the time.
I completely get you. Like, I think, like, looking back, it was dumb when all of us were like, don't you see this? And you're like, well, no, I can't be everywhere at once.
I'm minding my own business, essentially. And people show up in my stream and say, Hail Caesar. And I'm like, all right, that's funny. Okay. But I mean, again, it seems like they use that association to push people around. That's a shame. But I mean, somebody like Bean from Pa, like, I go, what did they do to you? And like, from her perspective, it's like, you were ordering this, you were making this happen, you were telling them to be mean to me. And as soon as she asked for a refund and I gave it to her, I forgot all about it. I forgot her name.
I'll never forget about you.
I know. I mean, I completely. You have to understand. Like, I'm talking to thousands of people. That, like, I forgot all about it. But she made it so that it was like, you will remember me. And I was like, I don't even know what you're mad about. And she's like, sure, Ethan.
I don't know why they never just like leave. Like, why they always complain. Like she would always, like, every day, like, they're making memes about me again, and she would like cry and like tag 15 people, and I'm like,
but that made them meme you more,
right? That's what that's what I was about to say. Like, because they used to meme me, and I would just not say anything, and then it ended. Yeah. And I mean, once in a while, like once in a blue moon, like I might appear in like the corner of a meme. Like somebody sent me one recently, like, oh, did you see this? And it was like, they called it like Gobblegate or something. I don't know. And it was like a picture of me like photoshopped onto somebody, and I'm holding a Rubik's Cube. And it was, I don't know, like it just made me giggle, and I just moved on. Like, oh well, it's not the end of the world. Like,
yeah,
if
they
everyone
used to
just shut
do
up,
things
it's
that
not.
they used to do things that were kind of funny. I mean, their show used to consist of them, and they'd sit around and they'd go, so and they'd have a guest on there. Let's say it was me, and they go, so you know, Caesar, what do you think of this? And they'd show me a meme, and it was a picture of a room with various like them in dresses or in bikinis. And then there would be like Sashi over here holding a turkey. And then there would be like you, and there'd be Mike S. Miller flying a giant rainbow dildo across the sky.
It's a little funny.
And I mean, I would just like the whole thing, like interpret this piece of art. That shit was funny. I can't help it. Like I really liked when War Campaign was doing that. But I mean, anything that was going on past that, you know, this is a shame. And I feel for anyone who had to endure any kind of, you know, ritual abuse or anything like that. It certainly wasn't anything I was aware of.
Yeah, and we got 78 people in here, so guys, hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, whichever you prefer. Share out the link to the stream. Also, check out my books, you guys. There's the Eternity trilogy right here in the chat that I just linked. And Ethan read part of the first book on stream, and it really moved him. This was the one where you almost lost it on stream, Ethan. I think
not. Don't keep selling that book. Is that the vomit book? I mean,
yeah. Yes. Oh boy, you guys should all get it. It had such a deep impact on Ethan. But
it's disgusting.
Speaking of my books, I have some art to share from Trixie Book 2. So let me share my screen here, and there we go. Here we are. We have the cover and the first 5 pages to show you guys. The cover right here from Sean. This is a Halloween homage. And the pages aren't lettered, you guys, but here's page 1, here's page 2. This book's called Winter Graves, by the way. So as you guys could see, there's a lot of snow. Of course, it's set in winter. And this might be my favorite page so far. This one's page 3. I really love it. Like, everybody's been seeing these pages and telling me that Sean has leveled up. I really think he has. He's always been a really great artist, but he's doing his best work here. It's just really vicious.
Yeah, it looks good.
And then we've got a couple more pages here. And of course, light spoilers for anybody that hasn't read book 1, but I think most people here have. So this is page 4. And then we've got page 5 right here. He's working on page 6 right now. We're trying to get most to all of it done before we launch, which will probably be sometime early next year. And of course, sometime this month, there's going to be Asile from me and Vic King. Sorry, the page needed to reload here. This is the cover right here, guys. And this is about a woman who's hunted by Dracula in an insane asylum. And our big influence on this is the cabinet of Dr. Caligari and German Expressionism and just that really trippy art style that they did. And that's why everything looks really distorted in the backgrounds here. And it's going to be a really dreamlike book. You guys are really going to love it.
Why is that a photograph and not a scan? You should put a scan up.
Because Vic is annoying me, and he's like, I'll just scan everything at the same time. And I'm like, Vic, do you not understand? I have like at least 3 people messaging me right now, like, oh, I really want to color the cover. Like Super Fly Ghost here's one of them. He's like, yeah, I want to color the cover. I'm like, Vic, can you just do the scan so we can have this coloring contest? And he's like, well, let me just get it with these pages. I don't know. He's being difficult. I don't know why. But eventually we'll have the scan up, you guys. I don't know why he just took that photo like that. That's the one downside about Vic is he doesn't want to scan the pages. But we'll have a scan eventually. I know that is so weird to say. Like he just wants to scan everything all at once. I don't get it. Skinny says Sean has improved. Yeah, he definitely has. Let's see. Yeah. Asile story is so crazy of a plot. I need it. Yeah, it's really insane. You know, I got the idea, Ethan. And because recently I had started watching silent film, and I've been watching silent film documentaries, and I started reading about lost film. And there's this lost film from 1920, I believe, and it's called Dracula's Death. And it's completely lost. There's no remaining copy of it, no script. We know nothing about it except that plot was it's a lady hunted by Dracula in an insane asylum. all that's left of that movie is the poster and one still image. So we don't really know what all happened in the movie. They just know that general story somehow. And I was getting really annoyed because it doesn't exist anymore, and it sounds really crazy, doesn't it? So I was just wondering what it would be like if a woman was hunted by Dracula in an insane asylum. And around the same time, I had watched The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is a really trippy movie. It just turned 100, I think back in February. And I don't know, I just loved how trippy it was. There's weird shadows painted on the walls and just in weird angles, like they're really amorphous. Like they've got real no method to them. Like they're just weird shadows just placed in random places. And the whole movie's just trippy, and I loved all the backgrounds, and I really wanted to do something like that. And, you know, just because a lady hunted by Dracula in an insane asylum is just such a weird idea, I just thought German Expressionism, the way everything in those movies and in those art pieces from back then was just so strange. I just felt like they really went well together. And so that's where the story came from. It's 20 pages.
When did that movie come out? Like what year?
I think it was around the time of Caligari. I think it was 1920.
Before Dracula, before Bela Lugosi?
Yeah, Bela Lugosi was 1931. There was Nosferatu in 1922. So this was like the first movie that had Dracula in it, but it's not about Bram Stoker's book Dracula. It's just got Dracula, but with a different story with this insane asylum. But pretty much everything that happens in the movie nobody knows except the general plot, because it's lost and really obscure, and there's not even a script. So no one really knows the story, but it just sounded like a cool idea. So I was like, you know, I want to watch that movie. So why don't I just write my own idea of what that would be like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds interesting, man. Well, we'll see how that. When are you launching? Do you have a date yet?
We've been throwing around a few dates. I'm thinking probably towards the end of this month, maybe actually close to the time when you launch Rainbow Brute. Maybe a few days before that, maybe. Yeah, we were thinking about waiting until early next year, but then he was like, you know, can we just launch now? And I was like, you know what, that sounds like a good idea. We could launch now.
But we should get that campaign past Mike's Lone Star 3. I think that would be a pretty good bit of spite. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'll be our spite campaign for the month of November. It's just to beat Mike and his new Lone Star book with your Dracula book.
Right. Maybe we'll slay the evil or whatever.
We'll defeat the evil.
Defeat the evil.
Here's what Kyle Ritter just sent me over. This isn't finished yet, but
that is gorgeous.
He got the color palette together on this. He's still got to detail, you know, everything, and I guess he's got to color these beads. But holy shit! Holy shit!
Gorgeous. Man, you know, I always prefer my art in black and white, and it's just like there's just something so special about the way Kyle colors that he just really amplifies every piece. Like every piece of your art I see, I'm like, it's perfect in black and white. I hope nobody ruins it. And then Kyle just comes in, and he just makes it just so alive, I guess is the way to put it. The way he colors it just makes everything feel like it's in motion.
Yeah, I just like the way he did this, because he was like, I had to start over again 4 times to find the right color palette, and it's like he ended up just lighting up Salamandroid with the lavender flame under here, and it just looks so fucking cool. I can't wait to see it finished. I guess he says he needs another couple of days on it, but when it's finished, this is going to be, I'm going to turn this into a mouse pad too. One of those giant mouse pads. Yeah.
Oh boy, I really dig that. And I like how on one of your posts the other day, Jason, my artist on Secret Comics Presents, he's like, "Oh boy, Kyle, his eyes are really going to get strained as he colors this." And you were like, "No, I just give it to him and he works his magic." And he really does.
Yeah, people worry too much about. Well, they look at my stuff and they go, "It's so detailed." There's like, you can't separate. Well, the thing about it is that as you can see, the more you give Kyle to do, and this is not finished yet, but the more you give him to do, the better it is, the better the end result is. So give him full, complete backgrounds, as detailed as you possibly can, because he's going to be able to separate foreground from midground from background, bring it all out, and then light it up, and it's just going to look amazing. So that's the benefit of knowing your colorist and knowing what he's capable of. Then you know what to do.
How did you find Kyle?
Kyle was like a fan. Like Kyle was one of these, not unlike you, Nasser. You want me to be frank? Remember what you used to do in the early days?
Totally. Like for anybody that doesn't know, I know I've said this a few times, but when I first met Ethan, it was in a Facebook group, and as soon as I saw him, I was just freaking out because I really loved the book you did with Greg Hurwitz. Might have been the first book I read from you, the Man Bat, which Man Bat never looked better than when you drew him. I'm sorry, Steve Ditko, because he did draw a good Man Bat, but I mean, yours was just incredible. And I was just freaking out when I saw Ethan, and I sent you a friend request, and you accepted it, and immediately I'm like, can I send you stuff?
Yeah, that's what you have to do, and it takes a while because at first I'm like, I don't really. And Kyle was the same way. Kyle's like, I want to be a colorist. I want to color you, and I want to color. And I'd be like, well, I got a colorist, and I'm okay. And then he would sit there and he would seek out black and white drawings that I did, and he would color them and show them to me. And at first they were okay, but they got better and better and better as we went along. And then he came to meet me at MegaCon in Florida. And I found out that he was a deaf mute, and, he had more stuff to show me. And then, just over time, just more and more stuff until I started to kind of feed him work. I'd be like, I need this piece colored so I can make prints of it to sell at a convention. Nothing official, just it's something for you to do and I'll pay you. And he would do that. He would just knock it out of the park. Once I decided I was going to do Cyberfrog Blood Honey, I hired my original colorist, Moose Bauman.
I remember that.
Who immediately sold me out. The minute the SJWs came after me, you never know who your friends are, but you find out real quick. So Moose was out of the picture, and Kyle was like, hi, I'm over here. Like, maybe hire me. And I was like, sure, Kyle. And Kyle took the job and just ran with it. And he's been... I think he's done great. Like, he got as much attention as you could possibly get from doing this pretty big scale project, and he converted that into I'm an artist and here's my campaign. He's just a really smart guy, and he deserves all the success he's getting.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a question for you in the chat. I'm not sure I know who this is, but placeholder says, Ethan, what is Jason Wright up to? Doing well?
Jason Wright was my colorist on Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. And I don't know, when I got canceled, one of the things that I decided was nobody should ever have to go through what me and my family are going through right now. And I know that, like, associating with me is going to put that burden on people. So I'm just going to disappear. I'm not going to ask any of my friends to support me or anything like that. They're going to have to come to me. And Jason Wright didn't. I never heard from him. I think I figured he was still working and getting work at DC. And I haven't heard from him since. So I hope he's doing well.
When Blood Honey launched and Moose was supposed to color it, and then he spurred out and left, didn't he bring up your art book called like My Struggle? But then didn't you say something like he had the idea for the name being Mein Kampf or whatever, or was that someone else that had the idea for it?
No, it was Moose. But I mean, I don't think he brought it up. I think somebody else brought it up, like, look at this, and Moose kind of said that was my idea. So Moose tried to
so he's the actual Nazi.
No, I think he was making fun of the fact that when you're a Republican in comics, everyone calls you a Nazi. So there was a whole thing about how my signature looked like a swastika. Some complete and total retard said that. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's not my and was never my intention for that. It was just kind of, and so he mocked it up to look like a swastika, like a German flag, and I laughed my balls off. I thought it was the funniest thing. So there's that, and then he named my sketchbook. He said, you should call it Mein Kampf. And I said, well, My Struggle. Let's do it. Yeah, sure.
Matt Fowler says F Moose, and then he said what I was thinking. He says the oldest CG meme. That was even before Kick Nasser. It was F Moose. I remember that.
Yeah. Rabbity Cat says, didn't you give them both something at the same time? Yeah, Moose was sitting on the Salamandroid cover, and he just wasn't. He had it for 3 weeks, and he hadn't done any work on it. And so I kind of slipped it to Kyle and said, you want to color this? I just want to see what it's going to look like. Yeah, that pissed Moose off.
F Moose. He's crazy. Let's see. Superfly Ghost says, position yourself as a person of value that you can help and be helpful, and you will find people want to work with you and will actively help you find more work. I agree.
It's not going to happen right away. I mean, that's the thing. Like Nasser still hasn't really happened for you, has it? But it didn't happen right away for Kyle. It took years and years before he found himself in the position that he's in now. And with you as well. I mean, you're somebody who wants to be a writer. You want to get the attention of a group of fans, of readers, and you're not where you're going to be yet. It's going to take more time, but you will be, with persistence.
I think so too, and I think there's still a lot to work through first with all the past year and change of setbacks. Got a lot to make up for, but I believe I'll get there.
That's entirely up to you. A lot of people think you're fucking around. I'm not sure. You could be fucking around, but I don't care. It'll be a great show in either case. But for your own sake, for Nasser's own sake, I hope that you're sincere. And I hope that
sincere. Like, that's the thing is, okay. Like, I've had so many people like say like, oh, I don't think you're being sincere. Like, well, I just don't know what more they want me to do or say at this point.
You're not capable of sounding sincere, and
like,
that's
no. The thing
problem.
is, I'm trying to I don't know. I'm just trying to be nice. Like everybody, Sketch was cursing me out in your chat the other day, and this isn't to dunk on Sketch, but he was getting real mad at me, and I was like, well, all I could tell you was sorry. Like I don't know what else people want me to say. I've said I was wrong. I've said you guys were right. I've said sorry. I mean, I don't know what else I have to do, because everybody was right. I did throw a lot away. There were definitely things that I could have done differently and ways we could have worked things out. But I left in the stupidest possible way, and
it was just you had a bunch of fights going on at once. And again, I didn't know entirely what was going on. I did, it's just here from my position. What happens to me is I get hit up in my DMs by people going, "Did you see this? Oh my God, you got to do something about this." And you would be doing that, by the way.
I did do that,
and other people would do that about you. And to me, I'm like, look, I'm just selling frog books. I'm trying to do my show, but my only concern all the time is how is this going to impact my continued ability to do business? And as harsh as that sounds, it's true. Like, War Campaign was fine with me until they started to piss off Anna, Cecil, and John. And at that point, and you can't say, hey guys, why don't you knock that off with the dead sister stuff? That's not cool. That's literally driving people crazy, and it's making my show unpleasant. So could you stop it? And when the answer is no, then you got to go. That's it. You got to get out of here because you're fucking me up. And so the same thing would happen where I'd be like, oh, great. So now Nasser's in a fight with Donald, with all these people who come on my show ordinarily. And, I could try to make a bit out of it. I could try to make it fun and funny, kind of Howard Stern like, but it never really felt good. And people didn't like it. I get a lot of complaints like, that made me feel bad to see, Malin and Nasser fighting. It made me feel bad. As funny as it was to other people wouldn't like it. And it wasn't in the spirit of Comicsgate. So trying to juggle all of these retarded internet fights was a pain in the ass. And people would inevitably blame me for them at the end of the day, which was a double pain in the ass. But, you got into all these fights with 3 or 4 different Comicsgaters who were kind of big league. And, what are you going to do at that point? I think some people offered you safe haven, and I think that's what kind of happened, but I could be wrong.
I mean, basically, but then the safe haven was really, like I said, oh, we'll give you 12 retweets. Like it was really almost no support. Like, I had a bunch of people that were like, no, you should totally make a comic again, man. Like, the only way those people win is if you don't make comics anymore. So I was like, okay, well, here's my comic. And then none of them backed it, promoted it. They were there for the first, couple minutes. They were like, oh, here's the book. And they just had no enthusiasm for it, never promoted it. A lot of people that told me oh, you got to come back. They never backed me. I'm like, why are you going to tell me to do this and show me no support? It just
Well,
didn't make
they're supporting you, but they're just a small number of people. So I mean, I'm looking at Mike's Lone Star 3. We are, I don't know how many hours into this. We've got to be 3 hours into the opening of the campaign. He's at $6,100. He's got 82 backers. It's like that's not good enough for somebody like Mike. Now, if Mike had stayed where he was with Comicsgate and worked out his troubles with me, and by the way, the reason why Mike and I had a falling out was because he upset my wife. It's like Mike kind of immediately saw a chance to side with Doug TenNapel when Doug TenNapel and I were having an argument, and he just went on this 3-video tirade about me that made it clear that he really didn't like me. And my wife was like, "Why are you helping him? He hates you." You know what I mean? Like, she came downstairs crying. She's like, "Are you watching this? He's not your friend. He's not your friend." And I'll never forget that. And I just went, all right, fuck this guy. Like, and the thing is, like, Mike's a dipshit, but I actually cared about his family. I saw that he had been canceled. I saw that, like,
I care about him too.
Things were hopeless for him, and I wanted to help him. But you can't spend any amount of time with Mike and not make fun of him. You can't.
Exactly.
And if unless you're willing to just unless you're dumb, and you can't spend any time with Mike, like, unironically and not make fun of him, because he's funny and he takes himself too seriously, and that's funny. So anyway, so it would be better for Mike. Mike is getting all the support that he can get right now. He's found out who his fans were. He told our mutual fans to go fuck themselves. He literally did say that. And now he's got 82 backers, 3 hours into the third issue of Lone Star. These 6-figure books.
Mike, come back. He'd be at 50K by now. At least I think so.
Oh, dude, he would definitely be at 50K. He'd be at 50K in the first hour if you had stayed Comicsgate.
I think so. Mike, come on, do what's best for you, man. My friend Andrew says, "Malin Militia, hail Caesar," even though I'm blocked for no reason. He puts a laughing emoji.
Yeah, please don't say hail Caesar unless you're trying to piss off Comic Book Hut. Then it's funny.
All right, hashtag get Ethan to unblock Andrew.
Hey, you told me about that. I don't know who Andrew is. I don't know what he did, but obviously he said something to me that I just went, you know what? My life's too short to be listening to this shit, and I blocked him.
Ethan, he just made his Twitter. He only has like 4 tweets up, and I think all of them actually are just posts about what movies he's watching.
I don't understand that. I don't know why he's blocked.
I think you have him mixed up with somebody else. Like, I think it was an accident. I don't know. I think I missed one of his comments here, but yeah, bring Ethan to me. I actually played that at the start of the stream. I opened up that that video of him, and he's just like, "Bring them to me. If they're not joking, bring me Ethan. Bring me John." He's so weird. He's so weird, dude.
Yeah.
Let's see. Andrew says, "You know me, EBS. I covered the Butter song in 2018."
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah, Andrew.
How come I can't see him? Oh, isn't that Devon Graham?
Isn't that Devon Graham? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's laughing at "Bring Me Ethan and John." Oh boy.
Placeholder says Mike spoke his side of the story to a situation that directly involved him. It seems strange that Doug and Ethan would be able to discuss it, but Mike wouldn't be allowed to interject. Bit melodramatic. Yeah, I think it was how he was doing it, what he was saying, the way he was saying it, placeholder. I think that's basically what it was. And
so what was this referring to?
The Mike's 3 videos about me that kind of, separated him from the group. Paul Assart says, "You kind of threw him under the bus with War Campaign." Well, Mike tried to throw War Campaign under the bus, actually. Mike and Edwin, like, I don't care about any of this stuff. Mike and Edwin came to me in private with all this weird trumped up evidence from George Alexopoulos and what's his name? Praetorian, saying these guys are, and I had reason to believe Mike had an agenda there. So I said, show me some real evidence. They wouldn't show me the evidence. And that was it. And to censor his pride is a sin tweet, I just said that's not. The thing is, Mike was associated with my channel, and there was just no reason for him to do that. It just seemed like trolling. You know, when you've got when you are struggling, as Mike was, when you're struggling, you've been blacklisted everywhere. He named his entire channel Blacklist Universe, and things are finally going right for you. And you're in a situation like that, and you're in a group where everyone depends on everyone to kind of behave a certain way, and then you're throwing out like trolls to the entire gay community.
He took his oar and he just threw it into the ocean.
he hit us
not
with
only that, we have to hear him whine about it. Like, if only I had an oar. Like, you're the one that threw it away.
Yeah, I like at the time I just went. It's just Mike. Can you not make things harder for us? That would be good if you could just sit here and be funny and do your
just sit here and make money.
Just make money. Just not make things tough. And that's it.
Rabid T-Cat says that George is a strange bird. I've had George on my channel before, and we had such good conversations. I only had him on like 2 or 3 times, and I thought he was cool, right? And then as soon as me and you became cool, he unfollowed me. I'm like, this dude's a loser.
Yeah, he's another one that I just don't understand. And that, George Alexopoulos, to me, from my perspective, and maybe I'm wrong, George reached out to me. He used to send me all these messages, and I put him on the show once because, I wasn't really, he sent me his books and everything like that, and I meant to read them. I meant to, I never did. But he really wanted to be on the show, and I put him on once, and I just went, okay, that's enough. All right, see you later. And never really responded to him again. And I just wasn't interested in his story. His story seemed weird to me. The people had pressured him off of Reddit or something. What the fuck?
Something boring. Like these people always have a really boring story.
Well, he felt like he'd been canceled off of Reddit, but I don't know. It just, the whole thing was weird, and he's just kind of disappeared. And next time I heard from him or about him, he was telling people I was a cult leader who eats children or something. So,
one time he wanted to send me free art, and then I was like, no, I'll pay for it. And so I bought a little sketch card he did. It's in the background of a lot of my videos. I thought me and him were cool, but I guess he hates me now. But let's see.
I think so many people, you know what it is? This is the one thing I'm learning a lot about people. In all sincerity, everyone is self-centered. Everyone is the center of their own universe, and everyone thinks they're uniquely special and important, and they expect us to recognize it. They expect other people to recognize how unique and important they are. And when someone doesn't do that, when someone fails to do that and makes them feel small and hurts their ego, they can become enraged. There's a certain type of person that will do. We saw this in Preston Poulter. We definitely saw it in George Alexopoulos. We see that when people do not get, we see it in Bean from Pa.
It's all like people that are like just entitled and lazy. Like, it's the people that don't want to work for it. Like, oh, how dare CG not give me, 20 grand because I just asked them, Preston, like, oh, can I be on your show? And, you guys got to give me money. And then when you're like, well, maybe, I don't know. And then suddenly, like a week later, you find out like you're the villain now. Like, this dude's like going crazy. Like, oh, how dare Ethan? Like, he should have had me on the show.
No, you see people say things like, now I see what Comicsgate really is. It's like Comicsgate didn't give me what I wanted, what I expected from it. It didn't validate my ego. And when I say Comicsgate, and they say Comicsgate, they mean me. They just mean Ethan Van Sciver. So I represent Comicsgate. I have to give them, I have to validate their egos. And when I don't, it becomes, I see what Comicsgate really is now. It's just a cult based around Ethan Van Sciver. Well, that's what you thought it was,
right?
That's how you approach
networking. They don't try to do any networking. They just go, right for you, right for the top. Like, there's a bunch of smaller creators that they do their shows promoting each other. There's a ton of them. There's a ton of people that promote each other. Like, why don't you make connections with them? Why is it you got to be at the top or CG's not legit?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little while, and it might not be me. Like I might not, I might not like this stuff. What am I gonna do? Like I have to pretend that I like everybody's stuff, or else they're all gonna become supervillains that stalk me. And like I don't want to. And there have been times like in the past couple of years where I've just told my wife, or I've even mentioned it on the chat. I've been like, I just quit. Like I don't think it's good for me to get out there and use my platform to promote other creators, because I can't offer that kind of a service evenly. And so for every person who I help, I make 3 people want to kill me. And it might not be healthy. It might not be good for me. And maybe I should quit. And I think about it, and then I just go, no, I got to keep doing this, or else I don't know what I'm doing,
Jim O'Reilly says, unfortunately, Mike let his religious beliefs interfere with his business. And, I think Mike should be free to tweet whatever he wants to tweet, but Ethan was right when he always says, like, if it's bad for business, don't do it. So that was absolutely right. 7 of 9 says, the pride is a sin tweet didn't bother me. When he said, if you're a fan of Ethan's, then unfollow me, I stopped backing his books.
That was weird. The pride is a sin thing. Looking back, I shouldn't have blown that out of proportion. Things were different. I mean, it's like, well, it's hard to say. Things are different now. We're being left alone. We've kind of won our spot. SJWs and comics have been weakened to the point where, DC is falling apart, Marvel's falling apart, and they just don't have the power that they used to have. And so we're kind of at peace. And if Mike wanted to, say fuck the gays or something like that, he actually could right now, and I think it would be okay. He'd be allowed to say whatever he wants to say. But I mean, back then, like when all of those horrific articles were being written about us being homophobes, all of us were being called bigots, we all kind of had a responsibility to each other to not be those things, because everybody took the blame for it. So when Mike says pride is a sin, and he's basically telling gay people they're going to hell, well, I mean, we all have to answer for that. At that time, at that moment, we all did have to answer for that. But fortunately, because we persevered, Mike would be allowed to be a troll now.
Yeah, I think Mike could be a troll now too. Mike, everything's gonna be good, man. Just come back. I don't know if he's still streaming. Let me open the other tab. Yeah, he's still live. Maybe we could have got him on here if you weren't, so you could talk about this stuff. I really think he should come back. I would love it if Mike came back.
Yeah, Bianca Fights the Zombie says it was sort of a pussy move to throw Mike under the bus. Bianca, I guess you had to be there. I mean, I guess it's easy to kind of also Monday morning quarterback or backseat drive, but like, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad back then, and everybody was trying to behave themselves, and people didn't want negative associations. And this was also like the 8th stupid PR thing that Mike had done in a row, including that, copying the Mike Wieringo piece and then burning it, upsetting Mike Wieringo's brother, turning oh God, that sucks so bad. That sucked so bad. And
Man,
it was always something with him.
Mike actually,
you know what? I don't want Mike back. Fuck Mike.
Mike actually told me about that when he with the Mike Wieringo piece, when he made the fake copy to burn it. He actually told me like the day before, he's like, I made this copy of it that I'm gonna burn, and I was like, oh my goodness, Mike. Like, it was just so funny because like I knew everybody would freak out. It's like I kept my mouth shut on that one. It was just gonna be funny just to watch everyone freak.
Yeah, it wasn't, to me, it wasn't funny because I mean it's like
it was awful though. It was awful.
Mike was like, look, I'm gonna piss off everyone who's upset with me, but it's like Mike legitimately had, again, it's like Mike Wieringo is deceased, and Mike actually got Mike's brother Matt to say, please stop disrespecting my brother, I beg of you. And then Mike's like, hey, I'm gonna burn the artwork. Psych, didn't burn it. Fuck Mike. Just fuck Mike. He's an idiot, and he doesn't think about other people's feelings ever. He doesn't consider anyone but himself. And I
actually didn't know about his brother getting upset about that. I don't think I heard about that.
It's just it was a nightmare. It was a fucking nightmare, and we were all like, Mike, just stop it. And so then the gay tweet, then the pride is a sin tweet happened. Like I don't know, 2 months after that. It's crazy.
So speaking of nightmares and disasters, you want to see something that really annoyed me today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me share my screen real quick. There we go. So I saw this recently. This is from 4 hours ago on the Brutus campaign. Dude, what's up with the books? And like we've just got like this string of comments going back like weeks where Donald does not reply to anybody, like going back like months actually. Like look at this, 3 months ago. No, actually a month ago was the last time he replied to anybody. Everybody's asking about these books. And we've even got like 7 of 9 here. He was backer number 3, also backer 847 and 1324. And look at this, no replies at all. Now, I'm just wondering what's going on, considering on October 29th, long story short, and he begins with, not to bore you with the details. Look, when you're this late and nobody's getting their books.
Hold on. Let me get a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
All right. Ethan's going to be right back, guys. So I'm going to put the link for the Eternity Trilogy right here in the chat. Everybody go check it out. There we go. Everybody go check out my Eternity Trilogy on Amazon. You could get the ebooks or the paperbacks, whichever you guys prefer. 81 people in here, guys. Hit the thumbs up on the stream or thumbs down, whichever you prefer. Share out the link to the stream. Let's get some more people in here.
All right. Let's get back to the thing here. All right. So what do you got?
Right. So, yeah. So, I mean.
What is the 21 days ago, October 22nd? What's that update say?
October 22nd. Says, where is it? I've gotten a couple messages and comments from folks who haven't received their book yet. Hopefully, it's just a postal delay, but I'll be able to look more into the situation once I'm back in the office on Monday. Unfortunately,
he hadn't sent them. He didn't send them.
Yeah, he didn't. But he says,
he's lying.
And when we get to the end, he's like, those of you that have received your books, I appreciate the kind words and pics. Glad you're enjoying. But then he admits here that nobody got him, and he admitted on Twitter too. And like, look, when he starts us off with, not to bore you with the details, when this campaign launched over 2 years ago and no one has a book and I haven't been paid, you better bore us with details. I'm curious now, because in previous updates, he's like, oh, it's and on Twitter too, he's like, oh, it's all packaged up. I'm making one trip to the post office on October 5th. October 5th? It's been over a month. And he's like, it's all going out in one trip, everything's packaged up. But now nothing went out. So he says, not to bore you with the details, but I basically screwed up. The situation has been corrected and customers will start receiving their books because someone competent has taken over. I think I need to just stick to making art and letting someone else handle all the business stuff next time. I'm not a smart man. I'm sorry. Well, is whoever's in charge now actually competent? Shouldn't you tell us that? Why is he leaving us in the dark? And look, people from 4 hours ago, Brian Bailey, dude, what's up with the books? 7 of 9 here. He backed us 3 times, and he was backer number 3. One of our earliest supporters, and he supported me with every single book I've ever put out. When can I expect my copies to arrive? What kind of customer service is this? We just leave people hanging?
Yeah, I think you proved that he lied, and that's for sure. I don't know. You know, he told me, because I said, what's going on, dude? And he said, I had to go. He said he did something wrong with the shipping, and he had to go back to the post office and collect all the books again from the post office and bring them home, where he had to do something else to them.
That doesn't make sense. That just doesn't make sense. Like, they didn't say anything when he dropped it off at the post office? That doesn't make sense.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, what we do, we use stamps.com. I don't think he does.
No, that's what he said he did.
He did. Okay, so stamps.com prints out a label, and then you can just, we'll sit there and put together, 200-300 packages, load them into the back of the car, and then drive them to the post office and put them on the back dock where, they're scanned and thrown right in a truck. So, that's what you can do to speed up time. I don't know if he went, it'd be a pain in the ass to go into the post office and have them individually scan them, after having waited in line. So whatever, maybe he did fuck it up somehow, but yeah, that was a long, right? I mean, if it's true, that was a month ago.
It seems impossible to screw up. Like, he's got to tell, like, he can't just drop that on us. Like, first he says everything's going to the post office in one trip. Then he says, I screwed up. I gotta know how he screwed up. Like that. Like, don't the backers deserve to know? We had almost 1,300 backers. None of them got their books. Don't they deserve to know? Like, he's like, I'm not gonna bore you with details. I think they all deserve to know the details because he didn't just steal from me. He stole from 1,300 people. And everybody watching this, I think at least most of them have probably bought the book. I know there's a lot of people in here I've seen around for years that were there back then. I think a lot of people watching backed this book, and none of them have it.
Yeah, it's tricky, when you're when you're handed this kind of money, when you're handed almost $40,000 in cash, like this is what Indiegogo does, and you're not used to having that kind of money. You sit it in your bank account, and then you don't. It's gonna get you're gonna get it. You're gonna spend it. You just are, and that's what I think is happened. He said the IRS took some of it. That's going to happen too if you don't protect it. Here's what you got to do, and here's what he should have done. You open up an LLC or an S corp, and that money sits in there, and you don't get taxed on that amount. I
have an S corp.
Oh, good. Okay, so you have to. So you got $40,000 in there, and you guys are on payroll, and that's basically how it works. Like, hey, Nasser's getting a check from payroll. Make it real small, $200 a month, something like that. And then out of that come taxes, and all of the withholding comes out of there. That's where the taxes come from. And that way you protect the money that doesn't belong to you, and you start nibbling at the money legally. You're getting paid to have done the work. And that way the money is there when it's time to ship and print or print and fulfill the book. But he just left it in his checking account, which is fucking stupid. And look, he got taxed on, because he did that, he got taxed on the entire amount. He got taxed on your cut of the money.
Right.
Which means that the IRS is receiving taxes on that money twice. Because when he cuts you your check for $1,000, you're going to have to pay taxes on that when you shouldn't. I mean, you shouldn't have done that. Like, he should have just cut you a check for 10 grand, and you would have paid taxes on the 10 grand.
Yeah, I think he should have just cut me that check too. He's such a dummy. Man, I would really love to see even just $4,000 from it, but it's probably not going to happen. Yeah, but
I told him he needed to pay you $3,000. I don't know where it's coming from. But he does need to do that.
Yeah, well, he told me, he's like, oh, there's only $900 left for you, and he's like, I still need to ship out some international packages though, so I can't pay you just yet. And that just doesn't make sense to me when he's like, oh, everything's going out in one trip. Like what's the holdup? Like, that just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Paulus Art says, is opening an LLC or S corp a one-time thing or annually like taxes? It's your business. So you're going to have a company called Paulus Arts LLC, or Paulus Arts Incorporated, and that's your business. And you will you'll learn all about it. Get a good accountant. I'm not a good accountant at all. Fortunately, I have CPAs. I don't know what they're talking about most of the time, but I did learn an awful lot about how to protect cyber frog money. From getting overtaxed. And I'll get a payroll. I got 20 grand so far. I got a nice big fat check for 20 grand this year. And I think I got another 2 grand last month off of payroll. And, that's basically how to do it. You have the money there. I'm being paid to produce Cyberfrog. I'm on a payroll. My taxes come out of there. All withholding comes out of there. I'm paying into the system. And that's how to do it.
Yeah, and Paulus Arts, whenever it comes time to renew your corporation, you'll just get something in the mail and you just follow the steps online. It's really simple.
Yep.
Let's see what else is going on. Jim O'Reilly says, I hope Nasser stiffs me on our book. Yes, me and Jim are doing a book. We're developing a story right now, and it's I'm getting typecast because he's like, let's do vampires in space. And I'm like, okay, Jim, we'll do vampires in space. Which the script is gonna come soon, pretty soon, Jim. Today's Thursday, so you could probably expect it around like Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe around that time. Let's see. Matt Fowler says Alex Jones is on Tim Poole right now, and there's George Alexopoulos art on the walls behind them. I don't really know who Tim Poole is. I don't know who any of these people is. I assume it's like politics or something.
Yeah, Tim Poole is he used to be in New Jersey. I guess he moved, but he's kind of a roving journalist. He pretends to be a centrist, but he's really pretty conservative. He's on YouTube and does clickbait political videos. And I think George Alexopoulos got on. Did he get on the Alex Jones show? He got on one of these shows, and so Tim Poole got some art to hang on the wall, probably of Joe Biden eating children, which is what George draws a lot of.
Could you imagine actually listening to a show where people are talking politics? I couldn't think of anything more boring. Whenever I watch stuff, like, it's got to be something interesting. It's got to be like, today I was watching Hitchcock interviews. Recently I was watching some Cronenberg interviews and David Lynch interviews. That's what I watch. I just can't stand it. Like, it's politics are just so boring. I don't know. They just really annoy me. That's all I got to say about it. Let's see. All you're getting is some corn dogs to eat in your car. Oh boy. Remember those days when we would do the eating streams?
Yeah, everyone liked that.
Yeah, now I don't have the time anymore because I'm part-time. I only get a 15-minute break. It's not enough time to go get hot dogs and then eat in my car.
Yeah.
Let's see. Skinny says taxation is theft. I like legal loopholes that help me keep from getting mugged by my creepy Uncle Sam.
Skinny, yeah, I would just say get your book out really quick because, I mean, the amount of money that you brought in on your book, it's not worth opening up an LLC. Once you start, bringing in more money, like $50,000 or something like that, you need to protect that money. But I mean, if it's under 10,000 or something like that, just get your book out as quick as you can and do it in the in the space of a calendar year. And you should be okay. But you're exactly right. Fuck the IRS.
Yeah, I really despise taxes. My first ever job, I got paid cash, so I liked that because there were no taxes.
Yeah. Under the table.
Yep. It was a liquor store. I was 17. I worked at a liquor store. Let's see. Superfly Ghost says he wasted money. He's trying to make it up on the back end by being cheap, and there's nothing left. He effed up. That's definitely a possibility. I know he at least spent, I think, $3,200 or $3,500 on himself, buying like a new computer, new mic, new this and that, and so he, had no problem spending thousands. But then when it comes time to pay me, like, oh, I can't pay you. But I mean, the backers really got screwed over, and at the very least, they deserve to have their books. It'd be one thing if like they all had their books, and I was screwed over, but the fact that none of them have it, plus I'm screwed over, it's like it's just an awful situation for everybody. We've got Comic Book in the chat. It says bisexual lighting.
Yeah, he's talking about the Salamandroid piece. Pink and blue is bisexual lighting.
Wilberforce Wooster says, I believe George now has 10K more followers on Twitter than EVS. Oh boy, then his campaigns are probably going to make like 10K more millions than Ethan.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, it's kind of tempting. I saw that George went on, everybody's always telling me go on political shows. And I'm always like, I don't want to really. But George went on Alex Jones and just blew up his Twitter, which is good. Try to translate that to sales of comics because that's what matters. I have 38,000, I think, Twitter followers. I don't think it contributes much.
The thing is, it's like, who are the followers though? Like, if it's just these people following you for, he made fun of Biden. Like, well, are they going to buy your book? But if you're getting people there for art, for comics, for something along those lines, those people are going to buy it. You could give me 10,000 golf fans right now, but a fan of golf, that's probably not going to translate into a sale of Asile or Trixie or any of my other books on Amazon. Like it's not going to translate
It's true. You got to turn them into customers. Like you get, you know, if George has like 50,000 followers on Twitter, you got to figure out a way to turn them into customers as soon as possible. I don't know if he's interested in doing that. He just probably wants to show them cartoons, which is good too.
Diller Draw says, gotta go now. Don't forget, Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition is Buckler night, 10 Eastern. Peace out, Ethan.
Bye, Diller.
I guess he didn't want to say peace to me.
Well, I think that's implicit. You know?
No, I'm just making a joke. But you know, I'm gonna get the link for Buckler real quick for you guys. I have it open here in another tab. Let me get this copied here. Everybody go support Buckler. It looks really fantastic. There's the link right there, you guys. Let's see. Jim O'Reilly says, "Hey, whatever happened to that Cecil guy?"
He's back. I mean, he thought it was Cecil had a whole thing like, as soon as I closed on my campaign, I'm going to pretend to disappear to Bermuda or something like that with the cash. And the problem was Cecil did it on the night of the election when everybody was already. And it's like, okay, not only did Trump probably lose the election, but Cecil took our money and abandoned us. You know what I mean? And I was like, Cecil, you have fans that are really upset with you and they don't know if it's a joke or not. And so I said, you better come back. The joke is not good. You timed it poorly. You know, come back. He wanted to be gone for like a month and be sending pictures of himself with a child army trying to overtake a small third world nation. But, you know.
No, I thought the thing about that was like that Cecil was still like showing up on like YouTube streams and stuff. So it wasn't like, you know, he didn't make it that believable. I don't know. But.
Well, he had to scale it back a little bit because he was gone. He wiped out his Twitter, and it upset people. And it kind of upset me, too. At first, I was like, did I just get swindled? You know, like...
Right, 2 years in the making.
Yeah, like, I mean, did I just get... But I said, what are you doing? And he's like, you know, we had a nice talk about it.
But you know, speaking of election night, I think it was like the next day or maybe 2 days later, you had this stream that I caught the replay of. And when you were playing Mike's stream, you had like two really funny jokes that I just couldn't stop laughing at.
When I was replaying Mike's stream?
You were looking at one of Mike's streams and you were like talking about like somebody in the chat was like, can you skip this isn't actually one of the two jokes I was going to mention, but someone in the chat was like, can you skip to where it's not boring? And you were like, but it's Mike's stream, all of it's boring. But the funniest joke was when you said Mike has been in the industry for 50 years. It's funny because he is 50. But then you said, like, the good part about Trump losing is that it makes Mike's book look stupid.
Yeah, that is true, too. And I realized that was the upside. I was like, I don't know if Trump's going to win, and I was like, fuck, if he doesn't win, what is the silver lining? Oh, it's going to be embarrassing for Mike. That's good then. That's fine. Trump can lose. Mike's Magnificent Seven will make him look stupid. So that's how I look at it. That's the bright side.
Dana says Mike is that old. Is that surprising? I mean, he's been in the industry for like realistically, I think like 27 years, something like that. Yeah, he's around 50. But it was funny because you were like, he's been in the industry for 50 years. It was pure gold.
Well, he said he goes out of his way to say I'm a 29-year veteran of the comic book industry, which is the exact phrasing that I say. I said I'm a 27-year veteran. So he's deliberately saying he's got seniority.
Superfly Ghost says the name of the book was Cash Grab. I thought it was all part of the joke. You know what? I think about Cash Grab though is I think Cecil was looking for an artist that had experience in cash grabbing, and that's why he hired Donald.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I think that's how Donald got the job.
I wonder, I wish we could go like alternate Comicsgate universe and see how Cash Grab would have worked with Nurkish and Tim Lim. It would have been cool. I saw some of it. I saw like 3 pages of it.
It sounded, oh, sorry, not to cut you off, but like it sounded really interesting the way Tim told it to me back then when I think it was like after I had streamed with him and Cecil one time, like Oh man, we had a really fun stream. Then afterwards, somebody told me like you and Tim and Cecil all have such different personalities that work well together on stream. You guys should do this more often, and we never did again. But there was a stream on Cecil's channel with all three of us, and afterwards I was like, "So guys, tell me a little bit about like the actual story to Cash Grab." And Tim was like, "Oh, well, it's about a town called Comicsgate, and somebody gets murdered, and so it's like Nurkish and Cecil go on this." They're like detectives and they're going on this mission to find out who killed somebody, and I'm like, well, who died? And they wouldn't tell me, but I was really interested because it sounds a lot cooler than like I think now it's like I'm Cecil, I'm a superhero, like something like that I'm trying to get laid, like I don't know, I don't want to dunk on Cecil, but I just think
the book still works, but yeah, the original concept, the two of them were like a kind of fucked up Abbott and Costello, and it would have been kind of cool to see that work out, but it's just insane. Comicsgate is just insane. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Matt Fowler says F Cash Grab, we need backstab with Elliot art. No, we need Elliot to finish Doom Kicker first. He's gone like 5 months without updating his backers. I don't know how people are this late and they just don't freak out about it. Like Trixie was a few months late. Stardust was on time. We were like 3 or 4 months late on Trixie. And I was freaking out the whole time. Like I'm telling people like, yeah, I've just been annoying Sean nonstop. Like he's really got to turn in these pages. Like I was freaking out. And like, it's like these people are just fine. Like going 6 months, just like no update. Like that's the thing I don't understand about Donald even going just like weeks or so without updating these people. Like he could be on Twitter, like I don't know. Then you see Elliot on like Drawn and Quartered, like I'm gonna draw my Spidey Man piece, haha, for this competition. Like, no, you should not be doing anything but drawing pages for your book.
I mean, I think these are people who aren't looking at the future, because I plan on doing this forever. So I gotta fulfill my campaigns, and then because there's another one coming right around the corner. I really think some people get money in their bank account. Nobody's pressuring them to do the work. There's no editor. They're not exactly self-starters, and they just fuck up their whole lives. It's dangerous. It's like Comicsgate's great if you're motivated, I think, like you are, like John Malin is, like a few other people are. It's like you get your book done. You get all this money in the bank, you get your book done, you do it on budget, you do it on time, and you fulfill it, and you save all this money, and then you do the next one and you make even more money. But if you fuck up your first campaign and it never comes out, it's like your entire life is over. I don't understand.
Like even back then when he launched that, like I remember talking to him off stream. We were talking about like his campaign and potentially doing a book together, and we were talking about like comic stuff, and Elliot's like, yeah, I'm thinking of extending the book like to like 100 pages, which he did. Now it's supposed to be like 100 pages. Back then it was 48. And I was like, you know how dumb that is? You're not getting more money per book. Now you're going to have to hit an even crazier deadline. Like that deadline's not extended. Like you got to even do even more work in that span of time. And then he's got to pay more for printing and for shipping. And again, it's not like you're taking in more money. So why are you going to make it cost like 3 times as much? Then he's like, oh man, and so it's going to be in color, and or I think it's going to be like black and white and have like red. So he's going to have to pay for color printing, and I'm like, no, just do it in black and white, and like because now he's going to have to pay more for lettering and for this and that, and like all the people he was having work on it. I'm like, Elliot, just don't do this. Like, and then all those other people need to hit their deadlines, and again, the deadline's not being extended. Theoretically, you could extend your deadline, but
you can make as much money as you want. Just get the books done.
Right.
Paulus Arts says, well, Cyberfrog was way late. I never got mine because it was probably delivered to the wrong address. $85 well spent. Paulus Arts, send me a message. Send it to cyberfroghelp@gmail.com and explain that you didn't get what you ordered. And please give us your regular address and let us send you your comics, because we have put out, I think for the first Cyberfrog Blood Honey campaign, we've said, please, if you didn't get it, please let us know, because we're hand shipping individual. We're trying to make up anybody who missed out. If you missed your order, let us please send you your books. It's important to us that, it's 100% fulfilled. And sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but let us take care of you.
But like like what you said about like all these people get this money in their account, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just don't understand how they don't understand that if they just put out that book, they'd get even more money. Like, Brutus got 39,000. Well, if we put that out, I guarantee you the next, book 2 would have done probably 60.
Yeah, it was a stupid book, but it was commercial, and it would have it would have done better the second time.
Yeah. I'm curious about Trixie book 2 if it'll do better the second time.
I hope so. I don't know, man. There's a lot of resistance to you, with my audience, when I talk about you, I still get a lot of Nassers. I hope that goes away, but it's just going to be a matter of time, and you got to be patient, and diligent in trying to win back a customer base, because the Comicsgate customer base does seem to be largely centered around my channel. Mike is right about that. It's like I brought my fan club over to Comicsgate, and it kind of became bigger than Comicsgate. So, if you do need to, you don't have to worry about being my friend or sucking up to me. That's not important. You do need to suck up to the customers, though. That's very important.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, I'm just trying to make everything right with everybody that's upset with me. And I mean, I don't know. It's really difficult just because of all the dumb stuff that happened, but I just hope they can forgive me. And I mean, they'll definitely get their books on time with me. They're not going to have to worry. Like, there's never going to be a stream that's like, man, I wish Nasser would put out his book. It's been 6 months without an update. Like, I'm not incompetent. Like, I know what I'm doing. So, I mean, yeah. I just hope I can make things right with everybody. Wilberforce Wooster says, I want to see Nasser on Ethan's stream just to see all the salt in the chat. I don't even need, sorry, I was just gonna say, I don't even need to be on the stream for it to happen. I just say hi in the chat. How's everyone doing? And it starts. I got about $2,000 in refunds already. I'm not to burden you with that, but just so you know, I mean, it's not like this is going to be easy for either of us. Wait, what happened now?
I received $2,000 in refunds since the idea of you coming back has been floated. If you're going to do this, then I refuse to give you my business. Please refund me. And I promptly refund people. But I mean, because to me, it's just like, well, it's not really a good excuse to refund anyone. But this is the thing. I mean, this is going to be a challenge, and there will be some salt, but I don't know. I don't like, and I never have liked the click aspect of Comicsgate. I understand that it's inevitable, but to me, it's stupid because we can do better together. And this isn't this isn't high school. This is a business, and everybody's trying to make money. And I don't see how, having endless fights with each other and being horrible to each other gets us to that point. I mean, if it has to be that way, it's not gonna go your way if you want to go against me. Right. I mean, that's what I told Pan and War Campaign. I said, go against me and see what happens, boys. And look what happened to them. This is the thing. How about if we just all work together? And that way, your audience, I mean, you've got all these fans, and hopefully, you had friends that hated me. I'm on your stream. Hopefully I can win them over, and they'll come and buy Cyberfrog, and my fans will come and they'll buy Trixie 2 off of you. And that's how to make Comicsgate work. Right. But separating off into factions and thinking it's going to work out, what's going to happen is my faction is going to thrive, and all of the other factions are going to dry out and blow away. And we've already seen that start to happen. Comicsgate tends to be healthiest around here with me and Malin and Cecil and these guys, where you were, where Mike was, where Doug Tenaple was. And it's a shame. It's a shame that, everybody can't get along, but I take blame for that. I do take blame for that. I understand that, I've got a big, stupid personality. I understand that it rubs people the wrong way. But quite sincerely, I don't mean to. I really don't. Yeah. I see my show as kind of Howard Stern-esque, and if you're on the show, you're going to get teased. And
right, and you gotta roll with it, and everyone's gotta like just take advantage of the meme. Like you take advantage of Pie Man, and Malin takes advantage of. Well, I shouldn't say take advantage of. Like I don't mean in like a bad way or anything. Like you guys roll with it. Like when Malin, everyone's like, oh, he doesn't have eyebrows. He embraces it. Or like Kick Nasser. I started naming my streams Kick Nasser because of the meme. Like, and everyone loves it. I even made Kick Nasser buttons. I've sold a few. I think I sent you one. But I have Kick Nasser buttons. Like. Everyone's just got to go with the jokes, and everybody's got to. They've got to grab their oar. They've got to row with us. Like they just can't just throw it into the ocean and then complain like, "How could you do this to me?" When they're the ones that threw it in. It's like all these dudes just threw away their oars, and now we just and we just got to listen to them cry about it. Like, yeah. So I'm with you, dude. We're all stronger together. Everything's better together. I just don't get these people, why they want to be so stubborn and throw away such a great thing.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So, again, to borrow Hillary Clinton's failed campaign slogan, stronger together. And we can't all get along. We don't have to like each other. Like, I don't like Mike. I just don't. I like to make fun of him, but I can't stand to see him fail. It was funny at first. It's not funny anymore, and I'm actually getting worried. So Mike can come back. People. John Malin likes Mike. A lot of people in the chat like Mike. He should come back and be a part of this so that we can make sure that his books are getting funded and stop all this bullshit about, well, this is what Comicsgate is, and I will not call myself Comicsgate. Other people call you Comicsgate. It doesn't matter what you say or what in your mind you agree with, et cetera, et cetera. All of that is just that's smokescreen. That's an illusion. It doesn't mean anything. You are Comicsgate. You're part of this situation. Come over here and help people. Come over here and help people in a real way, and add to our numbers.
Right. There's nothing better than being CG. Andrew says you had Huerta, Mitch Donnell, and others like Critias show you their version of CG. Nasser delivers and provides excellent service. No brainer. Thank you very much, Andrew. Let's see. Earth Mind or Earth Mind. I'm not sure. It says Nasser has the thickest skin in CG, hands down. I'll give you that. Well, thank you. Dina says, and she did a really awesome cover for Trixie Book 1, and I think we'll have her do one for Trixie Book 2. Says Nasser still fulfilled 2 campaigns all by himself. Yep, fulfilled them all by myself, and I just don't understand how like people will get this money and they're just like, well, it was my first time, there's a lot to learn. It is not a difficult thing to get paid for something than to do it. Like, it's not a difficult thing. People are like, here's the money for the book. And then you're like, okay, now let me print it. Like, it's such a simple process. Like, you just print it, then you ship it. It's really simple. So all these people that are like, oh, well, it was my first campaign, or like even by like their second campaign, they're like, well, we're 40 years late and no one has the book, but we're still here learning. Like,
well,
no.
I mean, it's different for everybody. I got to tell you, Cyberfrog takes a long time to draw. And it's not, it's like I would love to do more than one a year, because if I did more than one a year, I'd make twice as much money. But these books take a fucking, like, one panel with Cyberfrog in it takes all day to draw.
Oh, it's absolutely worth it. Like, nobody is getting books like this anywhere else.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like, it does take time. I understand that. I can sympathize with people, actually drawing a comic book. It takes a lot more time than just writing a comic book. But you do have to press forward and get it finished. You have to.
Wilberforce Wooster says, I do know I thought when people were mad at Nasser, they sounded like whiners. Yeah, a lot of them do. Like, pretty much all of them sound like they're whining. But I mean, I understand, though, that they hate me. And I hope we could get past it. Like, I don't want to dunk on anybody here. But yeah, let's see. Joe Frago says it's even more complicated than that, but that was a big part of it. I think I missed something. I don't know what that's in context. I was just clicking on whatever was next. I think Ethan and Mike should avoid each other. That is clear.
I don't. I think it's funny, and I think Mike. Honestly, whatever conflict there is between me and Mike should be spoken about. Make good internet content, YouTube content. And then we should get over it, and then I should help him sell his comics. And it should be as simple as that. You know,
Rabid T Cat, if you say this again about my 16-year-old sister, I'm going to ban you.
you have a 16-year-old sister, and he's talking about her. I mean,
Yeah, he says sooner or later she'll be 18.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's super creepy. Let's see. The first book doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be on time. I agree. This is gold. I want more Nasser Peace Theater. What do you think, Ethan?
Well, yeah, it's funnier when you're not in on it and you're sending me but you humor it, but you're sending me things that I don't want to read. And now it would be artificial. That's the only thing. We'll just come up with new stuff. That's all.
All right. But yeah, if you guys want to do your own Nasser Peace Theater, like, I'm not stopping you. Like, here's the link to all 5 of my books on Amazon. You could get the hard copies, get the ebooks, whatever you want. And you could do your own Nasser Peace Theater, do your own videos or streams, roasting them, do whatever you want. They're yours once you buy them. 87 people in here. That's 87 new Nasser Peace Theaters. Technically, it's 87 times 5, I guess, if you guys buy all 5 of them. Get a gun, Nasser. Yeah, I should get one. Now things are a little bit awkward.
Yeah, I mean, let's get a gun. Ethan and Mike were hilarious. That was true. Yeah, of course. It was so, I mean, it was funny. But I mean, the pride is a sin thing. Mike was so happy about that. That's the part of this that people weren't like around for. Like, Mike, you know, when I said, Mike, could you not do that? Mike turned it into, you're suppressing my Christianity. And then all these like people were like, you know, Comicsgate's anti-Christian. And it was a problem. Like, it was a real problem. And you know, Mike and Edwin met me in a private room, like a private StreamYards. And Edwin's like, I'm going to be the impartial, you know, observer between the two of you. I mean, can you imagine this shit? And so
boring. Like, did you fall asleep?
No, it was fucking horrible. No, not at all. I was pissed. I've never been more angry with Mike. So I come into this room to discuss things because now Mike has this thing where Mike's like, I've gotten control of the Christian element of Comicsgate and turned him against you. So now what are you going to do? And I go in there and Mike is sitting there leaned back in his chair with sunglasses on. And he goes, you're in quite a pickle, aren't you, Ethan?
Do that laugh again. That's
I can't. Yeah, I mean, it was something else. He's like, you're in quite the pickle, aren't you, Ethan? Like, he was really excited about the fact that, like, he turned Christians against Comicsgate. You know, he propagandized properly and gotten people upset at Comicsgate. And you know, I was just like, you're a fucking asshole. Yeah, it was like, that's the whole thing. Like, Mike really, I don't know, like, that got under his skin, but then again, it gave him like a little taste of power. You know, it's like, what if I were to walk? What if I were to turn the Christians against you and walk away with them? What would that do?
I don't know, like 82 backers in 10 hours.
Yeah, I get it. That's kind of what it was. Yeah, he took them, you know.
Oh boy, I feel bad dunking on Mike. I want everybody to know I like Mike. I don't like to dunk on him, but like Ethan said earlier, like, sometimes you just gotta make fun of Mike. It's true. I don't know. He's just one of those people that you can make fun of.
But Mike is someone who, like, insists on his right to troll, but like, you can't troll him. You know, if you troll him, he gets upset. Like, the you know, hey Mike was hilarious and the fans loved it, and that was a really good troll of him. And that was that, like, he got so angry about that, and yet at the same time, we're supposed to roll with and think it's funny when he does that thing to Mike Waringo, and Mike Waringo's brother, ha ha ha, you know, that's funny. That's trolling. That's a really effective troll. Well, you know, it's like, you should be able to take it then. You know, if you want to give it, you should be able to take it.
Yeah, or like the one thing I really didn't like about Mike was, like, okay, he could say whatever he wants about my books. He doesn't have to like them, and he tears them to shreds every time. But the one time I tore apart his book, not literally, it was just when he had me on a stream. I think it was like the day or maybe the second day when he launched Magnificent 7. And I'm like asking him, like, so what's it about? And he's like, let me read the campaign. And it starts with, like, I'm Mike and I've been blacklisted. And I'm like, well, well, Mike, what's the story? And he's like, and there's a cameo by Dean Cain. I'm like, okay, but what's the story? And he's like, Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, he trimmed all that out. Like the first 3 paragraphs were about, like, I've been blacklisted and therefore back my book. And, that's something that people say. Like, people say, you're only selling Cyberfrog to people who hate SJWs. I'm like, well, if that's true, then keep being despicable, because it's working. But the other thing is, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's how I sell Cyberfrog. That might be how you perceive it, but I really actually do have a story, and I show people art and I pitch the story to them all the time, and that tends to sell books. But Mike literally did that. He had 3 paragraphs where he's like, I've been blacklisted by the SJ. You're telling people to buy your books for a political reason now, and you don't need to, because, well, yeah, you do.
But like the thing is like, so when that happened, and I was like, Mike, I don't think there's a story here. Do you just want us to buy it because whatever your politics? And he's like, no, there is a story. So I was really bored. So I went on Kiwi Farms and I'm like, guys, I don't think Mike's book has a story. And then Mike saw it like the next day, and he posted on Twitter like, we're done with Nasser. He didn't like my book. I'm like, but I could say that about you with every single one of my books. Like, you told me you hated them all.
I like Trixie Kane. I liked it. I thought it was good. I think Nasser went robotic there for a minute, where he froze up. Trixie Kane was good. Good story there. Good storytelling. Pretty good dialogue.
It's salty.
Nobody heard you, Nasser. I think you
went. This dude used to be a supporter of mine, and he showed up in a stream a couple days ago. Like, now it's clicking. He's like, "You're a hack." I'm like, if you thought that, why'd you wait till now? It's like you become friends with Ethan again, and then you're the hack.
Yeah, I don't know what Hikaru's problem is. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't really know either. I don't know what most people's problems are, honestly.
Hikaru, I mean, here's the thing. Hikaru, like, at first, I thought Hikaru was pretty serious, like, Christian, stuck to Mike S. Miller, chose that side of the aisle. And that was cool, like, was a mod. And then Hikaru disgraced himself so badly that Mike had to distance himself from Hikaru. And now I don't really know where Hikaru stands. I don't know who Hikaru is, or that's a shame.
Hikaru says you'll never go far, but I've already gone farther than you. You are a hack. Yeah, bro. Show me where you sold thousands of copies of your comics. You were always a hack.
Yeah, I mean, that's not. I mean, the thing about it is that kind of commentary. You shouldn't really block people, but this is the kind of person that it's okay to block because they're contributing nothing. Like, they're not. This is just ass mad, like, belligerent.
Like, he just looks stupid. Like look, we've been having like such a good stream between us, and everyone in the chat's just been normal. And then this guy just like, oh, by the way, Skinny says I like Nasser. Well, thanks, Skinny. I like you too, man. No homo. But Hikaru, like, I don't know, he's just in here like cursing out EVS, like, oh, like, who looks insane here? Like, is it the normal 81 other people we have watching, or is it Hikaru? I don't know.
It's Hikaru. Hikaru whipped out his penis on Twitter. I mean, it was just
yeah, people are bringing that up.
Yeah. I mean, that's,
and he sent it to a dude too.
Yeah, that's what did it. I think that's what did it. There might have been something else, that made Mike and Edwin walk away from Hikaru.
Now the excuse is, I don't make comics. Well, you make something else and sell thousands of them. Your choice, whatever you do. Nasser's a hack fraud, just like the best.
I think everybody is a hack fraud in some way or the other. You just,
I guess so.
You want to entertain people. Trixie was an entertaining book, so what are you going to do?
Right. Everybody loved it. They did. And I'm not just saying that. Like, I don't know anybody that read it and was like, I hated this. Everybody that read it, at least that talked to me about it, they go, hey, I read it. And they said they liked it. I've never hid bad feedback though. I've often talked about all the people that didn't like Stardust. Like, Mike hated it, and I talked about that openly. Kelsey Shannon had quite a few complaints that he told me about, and I was open with that. And Even my sister hated it. Like, I'm not gonna hide bad feedback. You know, but as far as like Trixie, everybody loved it. I think everybody's gonna love book 2 even more whenever we launch sometime next year. Kick the hacking Nasser. Let's see. Oh wait, where'd it go? I write software for a Fortune 500 company. Shrugs. So cringe.
Well, I mean, what are you doing here then? Why are you behaving like this?
Right. Like, if things are going so well for you, like, why are you here? Did Nasser sell thousands, or was that someone else? Yeah, I sold thousands. Superfly Ghost just isn't good for you. It just makes me laugh, especially because he put the 4. Like, that's even funnier.
It's like a Prince song. Good for you.
But, you know, as far as my books on Amazon, those have not sold thousands. So if you guys want to get them up there, like, here's the link. It'll take you to all 5 of them if you guys want to get my books. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. Trixie Kane is Nasser's self-proclaimed magnum opus. It's actually not my magnum opus.
Captain Hiltz is Captain Hiltz a hater of yours?
I actually don't know. This is the first time I'm seeing him here.
He's from Mike's stream.
Oh.
Captain Hiltz, be nice. Knock it off.
I never said it was my magnum opus, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's as good as one. But no, I think my magnum opus is probably a book I wrote called a comic I wrote called Hourglass, which is a superhero comic, and it was supposed to be like I'm trying to figure out what to do with it, because it was originally supposed to be like my epic, like Spawn or something that goes like 300 issues, and then I realized I was just never gonna do a monthly thing in the industry, because I was writing this back in like 2016, 17, and I wrote like 70 issues of it, and then I was like, and by the time by the time I got to issue 70, I was part of CG, and I'm like, I'm going to be doing the crowdfunding thing. I'm probably not going to put this out monthly, and so then I just didn't know what to do. Like, maybe condense things, put them out as paperbacks, but then I know this might be a little boring to people, but then it's like, oh, now I got to pay an artist for like this epic long series, and what if they want to do something else? I like when a series is uniform, when it's the same artist throughout. I don't know. It could be just a thing where I have a different artist every so often. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. I have to revisit it, though. It's been years.
Somebody sent me Mike's StreamYard's link
on
Kiwi Farms. Yeah.
Mike sent it to me too.
It would be funny if you went in there. It wouldn't, though, because he just kicked me out right away. So nothing would get done.
Well, no, he thought I was in some like green room where when I was watching the stream briefly before this one, he's like, "Oh, you're in the green room. Come on." And I'm like, "I'm not in any green room." And he's like, "You're in the green room." I'm like, "Mike, I'm not in your green room." And then he checks it and he's like, "Oh, he's not in the green room." Oh boy. Trixie was a good story. Thank you very much, Jim. Well, this is cheap entertainment. Like, Hikaru, get a life, bruh. Get a life. Oh boy, this is just so pathetic. He's like, have fun. Like, I'm having a great time. I don't know what
he's like. I'll be back to bother you later. Have a good time. They all talk like little like gay supervillains. It's like,
right.
This is just cheap entertainment for me, Nasser. Have fun, Nasser.
like
they don't understand how gay they sound on the internet. It's like just fucking. Why don't you let Nasser have his little stream, and why don't you let him sell his books and find something to do? I don't understand why you would pick on Nasser of all people.
Right, like a hobby is supposed to pass the time, not fill it.
That's right.
This is
a nice line from Psycho. Good for you.
This is all that they spend their time on. Like this was a gold one, and that thread from Pa, she like I don't remember, like somebody said something in reply to her, and it was like early in the morning, and her reply says, "I just woke up," and I was actually just thinking about that, like in reply to whatever they told her, and it's like something CG related, something about me, and I'm just like, wow, you just admitted you woke up and you somehow like were already thinking about this. Like when I wake up, I'm like, where am I? What day is it? Was that dream real?
I'm thinking, can I get away with having donuts this morning when I wake up? That's what I'm thinking. Can I get to Dunkin' Donuts? And then most of the time I say no, but the other times, I say, maybe it's time for some donuts.
Right. And then, you wake up and like me.
And then I think about stalking people on Twitter, much later.
I was just about to make that joke. I was about to say, and then me, after I wake up, I come down here to write in the morning. And then I remember that you sent me a list of customers to harass. Oh boy. There's a very long list. Maybe Hikaru's going to make it to the list.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Matt Fowler's reminding us Trump lost because he retweeted her. I saw that clip and I was like, oh, come on. This is like, Trump's totally going to win. Like, he's not losing because he retweeted her. What is it? And then, like, somehow, like, you just had, like, this divine, like, knowledge. Like, I think that was it. I think you had, like, some premonition. You were like, Trump's going to lose. And then you just, like, expressed it through Trump retweeting her. But you were like, I can't give them my exact knowledge of the future, so I'm only going to hint at it.
Well, no, I mean, look, here's the thing, and this is like losers hang out with losers. Like people who lose hang out with losers, and that's so. Like it's like when he retweeted "Bean from Pa" 3 times, "Bean from Pa" 3 times, he was going to lose. You don't. There's no reason for the president of the United States to retweet that idiot. I mean, there's just no reason. And when he did, it was like, shit. Like, winners have mojo, and they don't do stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, I saw that. And then Mike predicting that Trump would win in a landslide. Guys, you just killed. Like, he was a winner. He was unstoppable. But the problem with Trump is that he made losers feel like winners. And that was the biggest problem, I think. There are a lot of people who were complete losers at life who Trump made them feel like winners. And then they rubbed all of their horrible loser mojo all the way back on Trump again and made Trump lose. I think that's what happened. That's my scientific explanation.
Yeah, I blame Bean from Pa.
I do too. Yeah.
I would vomit off the side of a bed too if I woke up thinking about Nasser. Oh, that's gold. This is gold too. He Beetlejuiced himself with Pa. This is all gold. Let's see. Jim O'Reilly says, "Oh, it's a donut-shaped pie."
That would be nice.
Yeah, people are putting pie. I guess so.
She's a horrible person. I mean, just a horrible person. And again, I would have no knowledge of her, but apparently for 2 years she's been complaining about me behind my back.
She was so upset I unfollowed her. And like the thing is like when I left CG, I unfollowed like because I just didn't want to see it. There was too much anxiety, too many problems. Everybody's like slinging drama back and forth. I unfollowed people, even people I had no problem with, because if it was something that it was all they talked about, like being from PA. What does she talk about besides you guys? And I was like, I don't want to see this stuff, so I unfollowed her. And then she messaged me. She's like, "You unfollowed me?" And before I could say anything, she's like, "Oh well, it's your loss." And I was like, "Oh, sorry. I just didn't want to, see all this CG stuff. That's why I sort of unfollowed everybody. I have no problem with you. I just didn't want to see all this stuff." And she's just still like so angry about it. Like, like that whole thread, she's like, "He unfollowed me, so I stopped buying his books." Like, that's kind of psychotic.
A little nutty. By the way, somebody said, if losers hang out with losers, why are you hanging out with Nasser? That was placeholder said that. Nasser's a winner, okay? Like, who hung out with losers and then began to lose. He's exactly like Nasser would be Trump in this situation.
Oh, for real. Like, I don't know how I ended up listening to like the absolute worst people. Well, I mean, I think we kind of went over how like there were a bunch of arguments and these people were like, "No, you're welcome here," and then it's like, yeah, it's like I'm welcome in this barrel of crabs. I don't know how Malin came up with that. That was gold. He's like barrel of crabs.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the bucket of crabs in a bucket. When one tries to escape, all the other ones pull him back down again. It's just a
7 to 9 says Nasser unfollowed me. I think I unfollowed you on accident. I think it was because there are people where I don't know that I unfollowed them, and then they're like, "Hey, you unfollowed me." Like Nerd Wonder, which I invited her on here. I don't know where she is, but she was in the chat last night, and then when I went to message her on Twitter, it said like, she's following you, you're not following her. I was like, oh well, I didn't know. So sometimes it just happens, and you just don't know. People are saying you're young. Well, thank you, Leaf Wind. That's a new name around here, I think. It's always nice to see new names. We've got a bunch of new people around here today. I hope you guys all stick around. If anybody's not subbed, then please do sub. Typically, I do horror videos over here. For October, I did a different horror video every single day for the month, which was really tough because I ran out of ideas after the first 4 days. Like I did on the first day of every month, I do a horror haul where I just show off all the movies and books I bought. And so that was day 1 for October. I was like, right, that's already a given. Then I did my favorite horror tropes for day 2, and then least favorite for day 3. And then I think I had like a book review for day 4. And then I ran out of ideas, but thankfully I always had something new to talk about. I did some I don't know, I just did some like flip throughs of like old comics I like. Like I went through do you have that hardcover of the Bernie Wrightson Creepy and Eerie magazine stuff? Like I went through that, just flipping through it, and I've done that like exact video like 2 or 3 times now because it's just such a really like beautiful book that you could always just flip through it and find something new to talk about. I really love that book, but that was one of the days. But I did that video like twice this year talking about Bernie Wrightson. I just really love his art so much. Ethan, did you ever meet him?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I met him a bunch of times. We used to hang out in the 90s because he was living in the East Coast. And so this was before he moved out west to work on, I think, some alien stuff.
Oh, okay.
And we used to go out to dinner with him. He always had young girlfriends. And they would always embarrass him at dinner. Well, I mean, he would we were at dinner. I told this story on my own stream, but I guess I don't know who's here that would have heard it. But we're out at dinner with him, and he's with this super young girlfriend who cannot stop drinking, and she's like, "Ha ha ha, Bernie, yeah," like all over him and stuff. And somebody was like, somebody said, "Bernie, don't you think you should tell her that she should stop drinking?" And she goes, "Bernie's not going to tell me shit. He knows what side of the bed his dick gets sucked on. Hey, Bernie." That's a nice New Yorker girl. I mean, Bernie was like in his like 70s, late 70s or something like that. Face turned bright red. I've never seen anything like it, but I'll never forget it. I'll never forget hearing Bernie's girlfriend say that to him in front of us.
Oh man, I was not expecting that story.
So that's Bernie Wrightson. Anyway, he's gone now. God rest his soul. Great guy.
Yeah, fantastic artist. I wish I could have met him. I remember I was talking to I think his name's Vince Rush. If you haven't seen his art, Ethan, by the way, it's incredible. I think he might have done a book with Alterna, I think, or at least he did a book with somebody that I think wrote for Alterna one time. But this Vince, I think it's Vince Rush is his name. But I talked to him like a year and a half ago, and we were talking about doing a book together. And I was mentioning Bernie Wrightson. He's like, "Oh, I actually met him like right before he passed." And I was like, "I'm so jealous. I wish I could have met him."
What was his name?
I think it's Vince Rush. Is his
Vince
name?
Rush? Isn't he Comicsgate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a fantastic artist. Me and him talked about doing something a long time ago, but I think he's always got a project going. Maybe one day, but he's really fantastic. Jim O'Reilly with the gold here. He says, "If this is all one big Rickroll, so help me God." No, it is not. Oh, boy. Man, Ethan, like you were not the only person that was furious with me over that.
Who was mad?
Like my friend Andrew, because he told me like he was like the voice of reason. He told me like months ago, like back in like the summer, he was like, "Bro, you should really go back to CG already." And I was like, "I don't know, Andrew. Maybe. I mean, like I told you in private, like I didn't know like how that would go over. Like I was kind of like shy and like I just wasn't sure. And he kept telling me, oh, you gotta go back, go back. And then like I did the Rick Roll video. He could have strangled me. Like if he could have reached through the phone and like he would have strangled me. Like he was furious.
Yeah, it was it sucked because it was just like, oh good, like he
but everything I said in it was true though. I just want to clarify that for people. Everything I said in it was true.
Yeah. Well, it's getting to be 9:30. I gotta get back to work. I did enjoy being on your show. I'm glad I didn't do a live stream on my own channel because I'm trying to only do videos on my channel right now to get the sub count growing again. As soon as I do a live stream, it's just gonna fucking YouTube, man. They're crazy. But thanks for hosting me. I appreciate it. And everyone in the chat, thanks for being. I know you're all Nasser fans, all that. Thank you very much for being kind. Most of you, except for who,
right.
But thank you very much for being kind to me. Anyway, appreciate you guys. And again, you're all welcome, and you should be coming in and subscribing to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You should support Comicsgate. And I don't know. I feel like things are changing. So, and I think they're changing for the better. I think, a lot of rifts are going to heal.
I think so too.
Yeah, I hope so. Because, DC's going bye-bye. Marvel is going to go bye-bye pretty soon too. And we should, be standing stronger than ever.
Right. Grab an oar. Everybody grab an oar. But I also think with you dipping out from the stream, I think it's a good time to end because we've been going almost 2.5 hours. Usually I only go like an hour, maybe an hour and some change. So it is time to end the stream, guys. But one last time, I'm putting the link for my books here in the chat, you guys. So everybody go check those out. And all 81 of you in here, share out the link anyways, please. Even though it's ending, someone might catch it on replay. But all you guys have a good night and hit the thumbs up or thumbs down, either or. Flat Earth is real, Malin Militia.